Welcome everyone to another recap episode, the second in our podcast series.
Yeah,
we'll talk about films we watched from September to December.
yeah. Not just movies, though. We'll also talk about series. Actually, Josh, would you say there's a difference between movies and films? Because I just realized that I said movies and you said films.
Um, I think movie sounds less professional than films.
Ooh, I'm
Oh,
so sorry.
no, I
Ooh,
mean,
ooh.
come on, man. Like we
What am I doing? Cut, cut.
like we have movie, right? So actually we're
But
obligated to
movie
say,
sounds more like
yeah,
movie.
but movie, but because we are using movie occasionally, we are obligated to use film because movie is
Mm,
just, yeah, I'm just watching this new movie. Like, movie I think refers more to like the Hollywood films, like more like the
mm.
mainstream movies, whereas
I
film is
get
like
that.
the medium film. It's more all encompassing.
Mm. Well, I do feel that I usually just use them synonymously. But anyway, so yeah, we will start in September, and George has a lot to talk about,
Yeah, actually, we both saw Loki and Dune. Um,
which we already talked about.
exactly. So, what go watch Dune because it's a masterpiece, and Loki is well, Loki is okay.
Loki is good.
Loki is
It's
good. It's
fine.
fine. Okay. So Michael, we talked about Nomadland in the recap episode already. I
Yes.
watched it in September again, um,
Oh,
and bumped my score up to 5 stars actually
oh, holy
because
shit! I
it's
didn't.
so good.
Wow.
Um,
Mm.
on second rewatch, um,
Where did you watch it? On movie?
no, I also watched it in the open air theater.
Ah,
Yes,
nice.
um, just a great experience again. Mm.
Okay.
And
I also see that you have watched some
oh
K-pop
god,
thing.
oh god, yes. So I watched this Blackpink documentary. Blackpink, for those who don't know, is a K-pop band
A
and
girl
a
group,
girl group,
K-pop girl group.
right? And
Yeah.
this documentary called Light Up the Sky, I think is the first documentary. I believe they have a second now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I mean, the documentary is like really paint by the numbers. It's solid.
How they got to where they are now.
Exactly. Like literally
Okay.
this story and
Yeah.
the struggles in the K-pop industry, the pressure they have from the label,
Mm.
and how much. So how um that essentially the K-pop life is like you're doing a pact with the devil because you're
Mm.
giving up your privacy, your life essentially, like everything
Mm.
besides music. I mean, you can say, "Oh, music is my life," and so on, but um,
Mm.
essentially giving up your private life for fame, status, and um, other things that are like more superficial. Mm.
Mm.
And the documentary just, I don't know. After I watched this documentary, I really was kind of averted towards K-pop a little bit. Averted from K-pop
Okay.
because
Yeah.
the industry is like it's just mass producing those talents, those idols.
Mm-hmm.
There is no creative freedom whatsoever, and the
Yeah.
idols,
Yeah. I'm surprised that they talked about, all of these negative aspects. I
right?
mean, they
Yeah,
are not new to me. I've watched a fair amount of videos on that,
yes,
on how
yes,
how the industry works, how basically they try to like obviously the pressure behind it. mean, there have been some suicides there as well, and also how the music is just basically trying to pander to a mass audience, trying to like go after every trend currently and be as poppy and digestible as possible. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like you're like really well versed in this subject matter. Um,
I don't know. I
surprisingly,
mean,
because
I
you don't listen to K-pop.
yeah, I needed I mean, I basically have I guess, a fundamental reason why I don't want to listen to it.
Okay, yeah, because
Yes.
it's like with the film industry as well.
Yeah.
With the
But
exception that we still watch films. Um,
mm, mm,
but I think we can. I don't know. We can say that there's definitely more creative freedom in the film
yeah.
industry right now,
Mm,
at least, than in the K-pop industry, because it's just kind of tragic seeing those young, talented uh, girls or boys.
yeah. Also hardworking in their own right.
Right, right. But they're kind of, they know that this system is kind of exploitative, um,
Mm,
but they still enjoy like what they get from it. They still enjoy the fame. They still enjoy their fandom, their status. Mm,
mm, mm.
even though I don't know if they realize that what they're essentially doing is like playing like puppets for big uh, capitalist labels,
Mm.
and because like the songs they write, I don't know if they even write their own songs. The dance
Wasn't
choreography,
that mentioned?
I
Don't
forgot.
they mention it in
I
a?
forgot
Okay.
to be honest. um,
I don't think so, but yeah.
yeah, me neither. But just and also the dance choreography. It's
Mm,
all like served to them, and they're like pretty. They're talented, of course, and they're well trained, and so then they project the dance choreography, the music to the mass audience, where it's
mm,
well received because you have this whole nice looking, nice sounding package,
mm.
and it's kind of tragic, just because it's like it's
I mean,
literally yeah,
that's just what some people have to do to get famous, I guess, or
yes,
be a star.
yes, and yeah, that's it was kind of eye opening to be honest. Yeah,
Okay. Still 3 out of 5, huh?
still 3 out of 5 because it's like technically it's well done. Um,
Okay.
thematically it's okay. I didn't expect anything else, and Michael, I think we're both kind of mm, you know more comfortable giving good ratings. We're not that strict.
Mm, yeah.
So I mean, three is fine. Three is okay. Three is
3 is fine.
nothing memorable.
Like,
Yeah,
YMS 3 out of 5, I would always watch.
right. Yes, or 3 out of 5 from I don't know. Yeah, it's like YMS so is YMS so strict?
He is pretty strict.
Okay,
It's like he
damn.
will say that that movie made him cry, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember watching some of his vids. Like he did some TIFF recaps, like festival
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
recaps, and yeah.
Mm.
Okay, never mind. We dwell too long on this single
Yeah. I
documentary.
have a last question though. Is it also focused on like what aspects are, I guess, specific to it being Blackpink? Because we only generally talked about K-pop,
Yeah, I mean
and I
you
guess
have
there.
their individual stories, breakout stories, how they became the
Okay.
idol they are right now, and in general, um, the group in it, just the group in itself, the journey the group does,
Mm.
and then you have some little bits where one specific member of the group is focused on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's
All
yeah
right.
okay. Next film that I watched that I'm not sure you watched Shang-Chi. Did you watch Shang-Chi?
I watched Shang-Chi. Yeah, I
Okay, okay,
used
okay.
my Disney Plus subscription for that I don't have anymore.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, then let's talk about the movie when we get to November, because you watched it in November, right?
All right,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, we can do that.
14th of November. Uh,
Okay, then let's talk about
okay,
Suicide.
Taipei
Taipei
Suicide Star,
Suicide Story.
which I ironically watched today. You know, the first day of the new year.
Yeah.
Watching Taipei Suicide Star. What a start! Just what a start! Wow.
Great start, great
Mm,
start.
actually, I gave it 4 initially. So the first time
Hmm.
I logged it, and after watching it today, I gave it like 5. Because this little piece is so profound and so intimate, even though it's not even that intimate. Um, but it's I don't know. Maybe I'm. Oh God, no, no. It's hard to say that I resonate with this film because it deals with suicide, and I'm not suicidal. But like the themes it touches on, like hopelessness, and
Hmm.
again, the feeling of being lost. Just coming off from the podcast um, of
Yeah.
her and Lost in Translation, it's depicted in such a mm, true form in this short film, because
Hmm.
it's nothing. It doesn't try to be some um, preaching piece, as so many
Mm.
short films try to be, because it's hard to convey the message within um, this limited amount of time.
Yeah, how long is
It's
it
like
actually?
45 minutes, so it's
Okay.
almost a feature length film. Um, but
Isn't a
it's
feature length film like 90?
I think it's 1 hour. I think everything,
1 hour.
but
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
sure. I'm not sure about that.
I'm Googling that.
Um, but like, okay, this film looks great. This film looks great, and it has some really interesting camera angles, and just overall the cinematography reflects the serenity that comes before um, a suicide, basically.
Mm.
And thinking about it now, the tranquility that this film has is kind of unsettling. So it can be interpreted as unsettling, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're really going into yourself again, um, deciding whether or not you should kill yourself. Because just to maybe reiterate the premise of this short film, there's this suicide hotel where people check in to kill themselves in their rooms.
Mm.
And there are people
Okay.
who, of course, kill themselves, but there are also
Hmm.
people who reflect on life and decide not to kill themselves. And we follow this um, this hotel clerk, who meets all these suicidal people, and he actually meets a young woman who has already been staying for longer than actually desired, or longer than
Mm.
permitted in this hotel, because she's unsure. And
Oh,
then they
okay.
basically spend one night together, and yeah, that's it. So I don't want to spoil anything further. Mm.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, it
just,
sounds
yeah,
interesting.
it's just,
Is it based on anything in real life or is it just some
no,
hypothetical?
it's hypothetical, it's fiction. But this
Okay, thank
just,
God.
yeah, thank God. But it really reminded me, like, this could really could be based on like a novel. Um, it just kind of gives me this feeling. Um,
Oh,
but other
okay.
than that,
Mm.
it's really original. Um, it's really original if it's not based on any novel, which I think it's not. But it's really
Okay.
like, wow, so profound. And talking about it now, I just think I'm falling even more in love with this film, um,
Mm.
even though it's like really tragic. But yeah, it's just watch it, really, like 45 minutes. It's
Okay.
on Mubi, and Kiwi has recommended it to us. in the first place because
Yeah,
she watched it actually.
I will see it probably even today.
Okay, I'm
It's
so
okay.
glad. I think you will like it. I think you will like
Yeah,
it. Yeah. And okay,
I even though I haven't seen it, I'm very interested in how why they chose to make it a hotel, because again, a hotel feels like. I mean, we talked about it in Lost. It feels like you have all these different people meeting
yes,
and
yes,
everything, and it also feels so impersonal because hotels are always like the same cubicles,
yes.
and you're kind of isolated with yourself. It kind of, I don't know. I will see how it goes. It reminds me of love hotels in Japan.
Hmm.
Probably it's inspired by that.
Maybe, yeah, perhaps. But the point you're mentioning, that a hotel is like a meeting place for different people. It's essentially that in Taipei Suicide Story. Um,
Mm,
because
nice.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just quiet. I'm just gonna be quiet. We can talk about this movie maybe in
In
a
an expanded fashion, maybe later.
yeah,
Yeah,
like yes.
yeah.
So moving on, I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because Michael, you actually recommended to me, um,
Yes.
and I mean, it's fine. Um,
I'm so sad.
I thought I'm like, I thought this could really be a stepping stone for me to get into anime. I really
Hmm.
thought that, especially in scenes where I was like, okay, yeah, this scene is nice. This can only be done in anime. But then there were like other moments where I thought like, okay, no, this is like really just too much.
Okay.
But overall, it's enjoyable. Three out of five. It's fine. Mm, then
Okay. I
aside,
mean, it's just to give my opinion on
okay,
it.
yeah,
I mean, I watched it when I was 18, so it was, and I wasn't that huge into anime back then, and it was one of the my first big ones, apart from Naruto and One Piece when I was younger, and that's why I guess it resonated with me a lot. I just think it's a very solid shonen piece with a great story and really likable characters, and also a good deal of romance.
yes,
I mean, some of those jokes fall flat, but I don't see anything otherwise wrong with it. I mean, I also like the world they presented with the alchemy and everything, and also like the depth some of the sayings have, like infamously with a dog and a small younger daughter.
yes. This
I won't
scene
say anything.
was really so this scene just got me because I thought afterward that this show might turn darker,
Mm,
but I was then kind of disappointed that it kind of blended this really, really childish humor with even less darker scenes. You know what I
but
mean?
there are a great deal of dark moments in
Yeah.
the anime, like talking about the parallels to real life with basically World War I or something.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so light. It is still, I would say it has for a shonen a bit more grip than your average shonen.
Hmm.
Like your average, I don't know, My Hero Academia or something. Even though I've never watched it, but
Yeah.
I won't judge it on that.
Hmm. But
Yeah,
I think the context in which you watch this
it's probably
series,
very important.
it's so
Yeah.
important because I think I would have liked it too better, uh, if I had watched it like when I was younger and not that, maybe not that
Mm.
critical, because with
Mm-hmm.
18 you're not that critical as we are right now after having watched so
I
many
suppose.
films, because like we're in the end we're like biased going in. It's hard not to be biased
Mm-hmm.
watching a film. um
Mm-hmm.
so I think you did great, by picking a good time to watch this.
Yeah,
Would you rewatch it
probably.
again? Not really,
I
right?
actually, I no, I did think about it. So Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I mean, it's based on a manga, and previously it had a different adaptation, which is known for having a bad ending, but executing some of the earlier story beats better. So I'm actually interested in watching the older anime adaptation.
Oh, okay.
And maybe I will, yeah, and maybe I will revisit Brotherhood from time to time. I have to say though, from time to time I do like to rewatch some of the scenes because I do love some of the characters.
Yes, yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's probably one of the selling
Roy.
points in this anime. Roy is great. I love Hawkeye. I love the Elric brothers
Yes,
and
yes.
Winry. They're all great.
Yeah.
And also, I think what I do like that the story isn't has a has very different turns in it. Like Scar is first like this, he has an arc that is, I think, very well done.
Yes.
Going from, I guess, a bitter, mysterious villain, then to being understandable, then to actually helping out. Yeah.
Okay. I can understand. I can get behind that.
Okay.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah. All right. Watch
Um.
it. I would say with you, if you're 18, it's probably the best time.
If you're 18 or younger, just watch it. If you have the time.
Yeah. If you want some fun shonen, but with some depth, it's
Yes.
good.
Okay. A Silent Voice was in my diary for September, but Michael, a friend of ours, and I have actually watched A Silent Voice 2 days ago.
Recently. Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about it when we get to December.
Oh God. Yep.
And
All right.
I watched
Then we
also Dune.
then we
but
move on.
again.
Yeah, Dune.
Yeah.
Dune. You watched a lot of Dune.
Dune. Okay, let's get to October then.
Yeah, let's do it.
So wait
Oh.
a second. October, you watched a bunch of Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say it. I think Love, Death and Robots, from what I've seen, is pretty mid.
Oh my god.
I'm very sorry. I don't enjoy it at all. Like, I've specifically watched Good Hunting, Beyond the Achilles Rift, Zima Blue, Sonny's Edge,
Sonny's Edge
and
twice,
The Witness.
actually.
Yeah, I've watched it twice for some reason.
And The Witness.
I'm not exactly. Yeah, and The Witness. And I would just say that the visuals are for the most part well done, but I just think the stories are never good. They feel very bread and butter for the genre. It feels very unoriginal. And I don't know, it doesn't focus enough on anything specific that I could say I like it. Like, one of my favorite anime short films is Memories, and from Memories, something called a short film called Magnetic Rose, and I think it deals with the theme of memories very well and deeply, with also great visuals. But the point is, it has a good thematic thing it builds onto, or even like the Animatrix movies, these short films, some of them where they only focus on one simple idea, but they're animated perfectly. That's when it really becomes effective. But some of these just feel like I'm watching like a cutscene in like a video game or something. Like the first one I think we watched was Beyond the Achilles Rift, right?
We watched it, yes, and
I thought,
to be honest, are you alright?
It did feel like a video game.
Yeah. It was partly my fault because the first time I watched it, I was like too underwhelmed. But then people just kept talking about how great it is and how unexpected it is, and then we watched it together. So I showed it to you, and I think you even gave it 3 stars. To be honest,
I was like, it's fine, but it's nothing that will stick out in my memory.
To be honest, I would have given it like 2. I don't know how many stars I gave it, but I mean, yes, it kind of felt really like a cutscene from a video game. The characters didn't look as detailed, as sharp
Mm.
as in other series or films. But maybe I don't know if that's intended or not. Probably not. And
Yeah, I would say I have more of a plot. I'm the plot and what they are showing is more of a problem to me.
yeah,
Like I have an issue with how unoriginal and it most of it feels.
yeah. Like Beyond the Aquila Rift is really not that original, especially because like when the big twist is revealed, it's actually just a bunch of exposition, really.
Yeah.
But for instance, you gave Good Hunting 3 stars as well, and Zima Blue. I found particularly Zima Blue way more abstract um and the I don't want to say message, but just the themes that Zima Blue deals with are like not that often seen in the genre
Yeah, okay, I will
because Zima
say
Blue is
yeah, Zima Blue was more unique.
yeah, Zima
And
Blue
I
was
also
kind of
think
unique.
The Witness was pretty good.
Yes.
But yeah, those two maybe. Zima Blue I'm still kind of on the fence with. I don't know. I get that it is somewhat more abstract with basically telling the story of a great reclusive artist who turns out to be, a cyborg that was actually built for something else.
Yes,
I guess that you could draw some meaning behind that and also themes of, I guess, purpose or,
purpose. Yes, definitely.
yeah,
Going back to the roots, doing something simpler. Maybe
yeah,
not. Um, yeah, maybe not. I don't know if not always striving for greater things, but being happy with what you got in yourself. But like,
yeah, you could say that, but I don't know if I want to go that far
yes, it's. I mean,
personally.
yeah.
You could even say that this movie is about how I don't know the human condition is hard, or I mean he goes back right.
Mm,
He goes back to being just a simple cleaning robot for a pool at the end.
yes. Yeah.
That he's kind of done with all this. I don't know. Um,
And then Goodwill Hunt. Good Hunting. I thought it was called Goodwill Hunt. No.
Good
Oh my God. No, Goodwill Hunting.
Good
Okay.
Hunting. Yeah, Good Hunting is kind of what I'm talking about. About how it touches on many things, but nothing in particular, and it feels like it just has it in it because people. I mean, it's. I guess it's in the title, Love, Death, and Robots, but the love aspect has no meaning. Except, I guess it's fucked up here. You know,
Hmm.
at least to me.
Mm, I mean, I don't know if each episode has to really encompass all 3 themes necessarily.
No, it doesn't. But I'm just saying in this, like, I'm just saying if you show sex, okay, let's go to the actually bring up Sonic's Edge. Like, there are like, really, do you need a lesbian sex scene? Because, well, people, I mean, a primarily male audience enjoys that. And like, what's the point of her? I guess, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I'm just
hard.
saying a lot of things feel like they are in there because people like to see those things. But it's not a good enough story for me to feel actually something behind it.
Okay, yeah. Um, maybe maybe to add something to Good Hunting. So Good Hunting is actually a short story, right? Um,
Mm,
from Ken Liu. Um, I actually wrote his book, The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories. And Good Hunting, I'm sorry, Good Hunting was in there. And
okay.
I don't know, it read kind of differently. No, so no, it didn't read differently. It was actually almost one to one translated to this
Huh.
episode. so there were only a
Okay.
few divergences, but just
Yeah.
really minor divergences. And
Okay.
the author is known to blend science fiction elements with fantastical elements. And I think just this idea of blending genres and what can be.
But but I mean things like I don't know.
I mean, Good
Like
Hunting is
I've
rather.
seen that
Yeah,
before,
but I know.
somewhat.
But like, Good Hunting is. Okay, maybe you could say that Good Hunting in its themes is not the most original, but like the story, how it's portrayed, what the character, like, just everything, the setting, the word, um, might be considered original, because I mean
I mean,
you have a fox. I Okay, I don't want to get into the plot details, but
okay.
it's kind of at least I found it to be somewhat new and refreshing. But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, okay.
Especially when they go delve into colonialism, bad territory.
Yeah, that was black and white as hell. That was black and
Yeah.
white as
And
hell.
also, I mean, I guess there are themes about, I guess, Good Hunting. I'm if I'm reading into it right, it kind of deals with how you can both be culturally, respect the culture you were growing up to, but and also I guess with that nature, and on the same time live and do that while living in a modern society.
Yeah, the themes are not that clear, but it's like more of, yeah, adapting maybe, while staying
Yeah,
true to oneself.
even though I felt the way they went about it, I don't know, it didn't click with me.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Um,
Yeah.
you
Okay,
you
I don't really have much to say other than yeah, they're fine. And The Witness is somewhat enjoyable, but
I mean, I can just say that if you didn't really enjoy season one, you'll hate season two. So just maybe don't touch
I
season two.
I don't plan on watching it
Okay,
in
yeah.
in the next 30 years. Oh, I don't know. Who knows?
You watch Inglourious Bastards.
Yes, I did in watching Glorious Bastards. So this is actually one of the Quentin Tarantino's movies that I haven't seen previously and that I borrowed from Josh. And goddamn, I knew it was great. Okay, we previously started the first scene with like Hans Landa.
Yes.
Uh, and oh man, that scene is so great. And so, and I would say for the most part, Inglourious Basterds is also, as a whole, a good movie. I mean, it is a Quentin Tarantino movie, so it has at least some redeeming qualities. Um, I think it's, I think some of the scenes work better individually than as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
At, um,
Yeah, you're right. You're
and
right. Now, yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah,
No, I just wanted to say that scenes like they're like really standout scenes. For
yeah,
instance, you have this opening, then you have this bar scene
you
where
have the bar scene, you have the one where they have to embarrass themselves with their Italian.
right. So you have those standout scenes, but everything that's in between kind of gets overshadowed. So when
Yeah,
you think of Inglourious Basterds, you actually only think of those scenes, but
mhm,
in between them, there's like just a void, and so maybe the
yeah,
coherence lags a little bit. So I've never thought
mhm,
about it actually, but yeah, now that you mention it,
yeah, yeah. That's kind of the thing. I mean, it's a, it makes an attempt at keeping all these scenes and story beats together. Like there are multiple threads, like the daughter that flees in the first scene. Spoilers and everything we talk about. Um, She later becomes like this girl that, owns the cinema to like where the Nazis then eventually blow up and everything. So there are attempts to make the threats, to make it somewhat of a more coherent story. But I just think that the threats themselves, some of them are definitely weaker than others. And yeah, the scenes individually again, like some of them are just comedic genius nearly. Others are like terrifyingly intense, and it all is just kind of in the same movie. And I mean, there's, I guess, nothing wrong with having different kinds of tones. It's just that I don't know if it nails that necessarily. Like at the end, I didn't feel like we've won, I guess, with Hans Landa still escaping. I guess still with that Nazi mark, but still.
Maybe you were not supposed to get the sense of victory because
Maybe
of
not.
what you have lost, and because it's the thing that Tarantino always does, just subverting history, and
Yeah.
it's always that conscience that tells you, yeah, this actually happened, but this is just maybe this happened in a parallel universe. So maybe that doesn't. So that plays into it as well, or into the feeling of
The ending, I guess I mean, I like Hans Landa as a character, how he's it's kind of funny. He embodies everything he proclaims Jews are, being these filthy rats that kind of are sneaky and know their ways around people
yes,
and how to hide and everything and somehow, come up on top in their own sneaky ways, which is exactly how he does survive in the movie. It's just, yeah, I'm just saying from a moral thing. Like, is it really a win when, he gets a Nazi symbol carved onto him at least? Like, should I feel now better about him still surviving?
so you wanted him dead at the end.
For if it would have worked, maybe. Like, it just feels. I don't know. That's why I say the tones themselves are I found somewhat clashing with the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I still really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. Like Hans Landa, played by oh god, his name.
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz, of
Dude.
course. Are great. It's weird to see a movie, like we're Germans, and it's weird to see a movie where Til Schweiger is actually portrayed as someone cool. Like, when is the last time where Til Schweiger was not hated?
Yeah.
That's also really weird.
Yeah.
And
because Til Schweiger's like just a meme in Germany. At least in the film landscape. Because he tries and tries, he directs films and they're shit. He acts in them often and they're shit. Like, his performances are shit, and everything basically what he touches is actually not good, except Inglourious
Yeah.
Bastards. Or maybe
yeah, mostly.
mostly, yeah.
Yeah. I guess what is there else there to say? I mean, it's just another stylish, fun Tarantino flick
And
with really some standout scenes
yes,
and great actors. Also by Michael Fassbender. I was surprised how well his German was, even though you could tell by his accent.
yes,
I guess especially if you speak German or any other language mentioned, it is kind of fun to watch
yeah.
in that regard. To like hear, I don't know. This is probably some of the greatest portrayals of German pieces of shit, but also like how they're still kind of likable.
And overall, you can say that Inglourious Bastards is rather international. Like,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
have like Italian in there. So I think it's also in Italian, German, British. Did I say British?
British. Yeah, you
British,
said British.
American, and French production, and you have all those five. You have all four languages in there. Some more prominent, of course. Some less. But there's like,
Mm.
yeah, quite
It's
amount
a
of.
treat for bilingual
It's
people.
a definitely a treat for bilingual
Yeah,
people. Yes.
yeah,
Sorry, Americans out there,
yeah. Sorry.
but you should
That
really
reminds
like.
me.
Yeah, you should really learn a second language. Oh damn! Did
Yeah,
we just lose
yeah.
all
Whatever.
our American listeners?
So we lost none.
So we lost none. Okay.
Perfect.
Nice.
All right. Yeah,
Okay, you gave it 4 stars. I actually
yeah.
expected you to give it maybe 4.5, but I think 4 is well enough for your reasoning.
Mm.
Now,
Yeah. It's just. I mean, if I guess naming one thread at least. I don't. I think Daniel Brühl and the daughters, like their plotline was well acted,
mm-hmm.
and it kind of worked, but it fell. It definitely wasn't as great as the others, and it felt
Yes.
more like you needed that extra dramatic thread for to keep to like make this movie you know unite complete, I guess. And in that, yeah, it just fell in its quality by comparison to the other scenes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Then,
Uh,
by the end of October. Oh no,
we have
no,
seen.
no. We actually watched The French Dispatch as well.
Yeah, we've watched The French Dispatch.
Yes, together.
I thought that's what you meant with by the end of
No, no.
October.
I wanted to sum it up. Like by the end of October, we have watched blah blah blah. But then I just
Okay.
realized, oh yeah, we saw French Dispatch together too.
Yeah. There's actually a funny story at how we ended up watching
This
French
was like
Dispatch.
this could be a movie in itself. Like
Yeah.
we were at
So,
this IMAX cinema, right? And
yeah,
we actually wanted to watch The Last Duel by Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott.
And then just before buying the tickets, we realized, oh no, during the process of us buying the tickets, we actually got told that we missed this film by like how many hours? Four
I think
hours?
4 hours at least, maybe
Yes.
5.
So then we were thinking, maybe we could watch another film, and the only film
Yeah.
that, I mean, yeah, then we kind of settled on
The only interesting movies we've thought about were The French Dispatch and No Time to
and
Die.
No Time to
But the
Die.
French, yeah, but The French Dispatch was a movie we wanted to watch with Kiwi together because I kind of promised her that, and so it was kind of like a running against time because Kiwi didn't always respond or she was on that a party at the moment. So we were kind of torn if we wanted to watch No Time to Die. And when we actually decided to watch No Time to Die, we get from her that she has time to watch The French Dispatch. So then we watched The French Dispatch
Yeah, but you skipped a
in
whole
another
lot.
theater.
But you skipped a whole lot, like because we then rode our bikes to this others theater.
Yeah, we went to like 3 different theaters to see a full movie.
Yep. This was like
Yeah,
really eventful, but in the end,
it was.
it was worth it because the French Dispatch is actually very not. It's great. It's really great.
Yeah, I mean, it's by Wes Anderson.
Um,
Great indie darling.
yeah, the great indie darling. And
Yeah.
the theater we watched in is called Schauburg, and it's like this. Could you say art house cinema, art
Yeah, you
house
could say that.
theater, that shows like smaller indie films and has a really cool
Yeah.
atmosphere to it.
Yeah. Like the interior design of like the hall is just really good.
Yes. Mm. So
Mm. Oh, one detail, why we actually fucked up with like The Last Duel is because we wanted to watch it actually a week earlier, and we extrapolate, and we thought it would just we thought it would just come during the same screening time, but it didn't. So they changed it from I think 1945 to 1545.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
our algorithm failed.
Yeah. Our predictions
Prediction
were wrong.
shit. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a welcome surprise at the end, I guess.
And did you expect to laugh that much in the French Dispatch?
At sometimes I expected to watch to laugh a bit more. Okay, let's maybe give a brief view on what the French Dispatch is, because I would say it's quite a unique thing.
So the French Dispatch is actually, you could say, an anthology, like a vignette.
Yeah, it's like you have this. This is so Wes Anderson. So he creates this whole fake French magazine that is produced in Oregon? I don't know anymore.
Somewhere in the Middle
The
West.
United States.
Yes.
Yeah, but where they are kind of the section that would talk about things in France, and a specific. Oh man, yeah. So that's like the basic thing, and then they would basically retell articles of like this magazine, of like the last print of that magazine, from different kind of journalists that all have their different styles, and they're all, of course, very, they are kind of these egotistical, very self-serving, but also, with a lot of personality people that would like, and their articles would then be put on film,
Yes.
basically. So yeah.
Yeah. So, then you, like, for instance, you have this article about this imprisoned
Imprisoned artist.
This imprisoned artist played by Benicio del Toro,
Yeah.
who has to finish some artwork, and the story is just really, I guess, could you say funny to this story? It has some very humorous elements.
It's Wes Anderson. It's kind of funny and at the same time odd.
Yeah, odd and funny. But then you have other
Yeah.
stories which are even more, like, even funnier. And
Yeah,
it's
I
more
mean, Wes Anderson isn't afraid of becoming farcical. Like the car drive scene.
Okay, we have to
the
talk
third one,
about
yeah.
this car drive
Yeah.
scene, because the French Dispatch for just a couple of minutes turns like into a whole another experience. Because you
Yeah,
have this
so
car
this
chase
is-
scene, which is like hand drawn, like a comic book.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, I thought really we were dying in the cinema because it was so funny. And
Yeah.
maybe
Like with the little jokes, with when someone would just randomly clutch on that or jump on that fucking car window.
oh my god,
and everything, and like
yes.
the different ways they would chase each other, and then they would chase each other there and then there.
Yes, it's like, it's so reminiscent of the Grand Budapest
Budapest Hotel, yeah.
of the Grand Budapest Hotel, even
Yeah.
aesthetically.
Yeah.
So the difference is that the Grand Budapest Hotel has more distinct has a more distinct color palette. It's more saturated. The French Dispatch is more toned down a little bit regarding colors.
I don't know if I would say that, like, the first anthology in that is completely black and white.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's your usual, Wes Anderson's shtick.
Yeah, but it's
with-
like the color, but still plays like
Yeah.
a huge role in telling the story.
Yeah, color, like, of course, everything is in this weird aspect ratio, and
the camera-
filmed so symmetrically.
Yeah, the camera's like always almost pointed orthogonal. at the
Mm.
scenes. And the characters are just quirky too. But like I think the
Also,
Grudge,
how they will randomly speak French.
right,
Like,
right. It's like
like the movie plays in like some French city, and then but they speak all English because it's a movie. But suddenly, some would just start speaking French,
yes,
and you were like, "What?"
and then the other character wouldn't answer with French but in English.
Yeah,
It's
they would
like
still speaking English.
yes,
Like, it's
and um and maybe I think a grudge that we both have on this movie is that because it's an anthology, the characters are not as fleshed out as in Wes's other films. Not that his
mm,
characters are in general fleshed out.
yeah, no,
It's more like his characters are rather superficial, and because
yeah,
they're quirky and have their idiosyncrasies, they're interesting. But like compared to the Budapest Hotel, um, character-wise, it's like not what you think you might get from it.
mm,
But I don't think it's
yeah,
fair to always compare this piece to the Grand Budapest Hotel. Just maybe looking at this film in itself, it really lacks somewhat depth. And but I
yeah.
think I mean I don't know if
Like,
if it's coincidental with the look, but the look in itself is really like two-dimensional. Like it has no depth. These films
yeah,
literally have no depth, and so
kind of.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so do his
it's weird.
characters.
Wes Anderson is, I mean, he's, a man of detail, of style, of quirky ideas and everything. But to what purpose, I guess.
Yes,
Um, that's kind of the thing with this movie, and why I could swear I actually gave it a 3.5. It's weird how I think I just changed my rating later
yeah,
to now at 3.5.
just leave it at 4. I think 4 is really fine.
No, it is actually, if I go to what I gave French Dispatch, it shows me a 3.5.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah. Whatever, Letterboxd is sometimes inconsistent with that. Anyway,
Uh,
I would also, one thing I would say is, because it's Wes Anderson, there are also points where it feels like a pretentious student theater piece.
oh yes, but it's like really, it's so self-conscious. You can't really blame it
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's hard to blame it on that.
because
But just
yeah, it's
when
actually
some characters, like specifically in the last anthology piece, when that I like this black homosexual, I think I don't I don't know the actor's names, and he plays this black homosexual like journalist that has like photographic
you
memory.
mean Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright, exactly. When he goes on a speech about, I don't know, like the hardships of his life, I just feel nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Like that's like the thing with Wes Anderson for me. I don't. If he tries to actually have some really deep dialogue, sometimes it feels like, you know, like it doesn't have the effect that it wants to have.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me.
Yeah. Um,
And that's another thing I would say.
I saw a post on Instagram which depicted different directors.
Mm.
No, which categorized different directors into job categories if they weren't actually film directors,
Yeah.
and I found the labeling of Wes Anderson quite interesting because he was actually labeled as an architect, and
Yeah.
it kind of really fit because as an architect you build the skeleton, you build what other people see, but you don't actually
Mm.
fill in the like fill in the things into your constructs. And it's just a little bit with Wes Anderson because it's like it's really it's like he sketches. It's
Mm.
like he's sketching, but like further than that, he doesn't really go, which is fine because in the end his
Mm.
films are enjoyable,
Yeah.
and each director has its own distinct personality and
Hmm.
imprint on their films.
Yeah. I mean, I commend him for doing this movie and doing, like, pursuing directing a movie with this weird of an idea about a magazine that doesn't even exist. To like what we didn't mention, this magazine is centered around like the 70s or something
Yes.
to like add to its charm, I guess. uh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm, I I agree with your analogy though, and also last thing, the the one with Timothy Chalamet was the weakest one. That was the weakest of the
Yes.
anthology
Yes.
films
I think I can agree on
because
that.
that's where I think Wes Anderson most lacks. He knows the style of the century of like these of the 70s and everything and the 60s whatnot, but when it comes down to the actual content, like of this political revolt of these students, I have no idea why they're doing it. Like they are always talking about, yeah, manifesto, communist, Marxist, whatever. And he is able to like he really has an artist's eye, or I guess an architect's eye, where he knows how people tick, but he doesn't speak the language fully.
Oh
You know?
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is a good observant. He could paint a picture of them. He could be a good comedian to make fun of them. But when it comes down to what these people actually care about, why they are fighting for that, for example, in the student revolt, I don't know. He doesn't give
Yes.
me a good
Yeah. He
reason for
doesn't.
what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah. I like that point. He doesn't know the characters. He doesn't really deeply know the characters.
Mm.
Yeah. He doesn't know what they are at their core.
Hmm.
Just kind of lacks that maybe personal connection.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, truly, you can never, if you're not in that occupation, you can't truly know everything about it. But most other people are somewhat just better in portraying them. And Wes Anderson just feels more of like doing all the decorative bits, the fluff, but not, I guess, the actual subject matter.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Totally
All
agree.
right.
Okay,
Okay.
that was the French
The French
Dispatch.
Dispatch.
Now
It's
yeah.
yeah. I just wanted to say it's funny.
I also
Sorry.
I also watched Squid Game in October. Um,
Well, I mean, I watched it in November, so we can just straight up talk
yeah, but
about it, I guess.
do we really want to get? I don't really want to get into Squid Game, to be honest.
Okay,
It's
let's do this. You gave it 3.5.
I gave it
Describe in one
3.
sentence why you would give, or in one word, what do you think about Squid Game?
Um, I first of all I really like that a South Korean TV show is that popular and
True.
uh, a more or less no a very serious topic at hand, especially what the TV show deals with, and it's really stylistic. It's really quirky. It's somewhat. It's not.
Is it? I mean, it's stylistic, but
It's kind of.
I don't know if I would
I mean, okay, it's not
say it's
quirky, but
quirky.
it's really South Korean, and Westerners
Oh, I
often
mean, yeah, it
perceive
plays in
what's
South Korea.
yeah, but what's South Korean like it's really South Korean. It's not only because it's a South Korean show, but it's South Korean in that the characters are overacting, as one might call, but which is essentially just normal in Korean films. You know?
Hmm. I didn't think they would. I mean, I guess partially, but they feel real enough.
Yeah. In the beginning, they were like kind of overacting, and then this woman who's constantly screaming, constantly
Oh, yeah,
overexpressing
that one.
herself.
Like the one that would basically constantly attention seek, you mean?
Yes, yes, exactly. This
Yeah.
one. And yeah, but really in general, I just honestly I think nowadays I rate movies on how subtle they are, how tactful they are, and Squid Game is anything but. Um, which is not to say that this is bad. It's just
Mm.
maybe on a more artsier level, it's not that high. Because in the end, it's still kind of mainstream. It's still kind of mainstream, and that's why I gave it three stars.
But I mean, what's your exact issue with it? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have a problem if it just would be mainstream. That's completely fine.
Yeah, sure. I know. Yeah,
Like,
maybe my issue with the series is that hmm, it just sometimes lacks subtleness. It's sometimes so placative.
okay, I can see. I know what you mean, but still, I would say I actually gave it a 3.5. Because I think it does a good job at the beginning more than at the end. At the end, it became a bit more, I guess, on the nose.
Yeah,
Um,
on the nose.
talking about the English speaking people
Yeah,
specifically,
and also I
but
didn't want to say placative. I thought of the German word, but
yeah,
it cannot be translated this way. I wanted to say it's like really in your face. Not the
yeah.
most
But
professional word, but
is it?
yeah.
I mean, okay. Spoilers ahead. When in the I guess second episode they were allowed to go back, and their lives were so shit that they returned. I thought that was really powerful and not that
Yeah, this was good. This was good.
obvious.
Oh yeah, talking about this. So my grudges are that the ending is, I don't know.
Yeah,
The ending feels forced because in the end they try to explain everything that happened. Um,
not
if
everything. I mean,
not
there's a
everything, they're
second
leaving.
season
Yeah, the
planned.
second season. Yeah, tries to
Yeah.
explain everything that's basically left open in season one, probably. But just
Hmm.
the series, the TV show has an urge to just don't not necessarily over explain itself, but it doesn't want to leave things open for the sake of leaving things open. They're open because they're either something that's is going to happen will explain and close this open thing, or it's just another way to serve the upcoming seasons. And in that, I just
Okay.
find it a little bit disappointing because you don't have to always explain everything because just people just are angry for not getting it. And for me, that's like a sign of mainstream because I feel like um, mainstream media has always an absolute urge to explain everything because their fans
Hmm.
want the definite answer and it has to be explained, otherwise they can't sleep,
Yeah.
and I don't like that, to be honest. And that's why in my mind it just lacks a little bit of subtlety.
Hmm.
Yes, so that's my
Yeah. Okay.
biggest complaint.
I get that with Squid Game. I guess it does feel like there's no stone turned. Either it has to have a purpose, or they will that it's not brought up again, or it will be explained later.
Exactly.
Yeah. I still. I mean, I I still commend it for, I guess, what it tries to tell. I mean, it's not the most at its core, it's a capitalism critique, so nothing too original. But I
Hmm.
do like the ways they at least at first tackled it, because they did show also with the characters who I think played I mean, I think we can agree that the actress did a good job of playing these characters.
Yeah, the performances were great.
Yeah. And I think that's where the show just does a good deal of like motivating them on what their situation is, why they would join this battle royale game to only win a lot of money. Yeah, I guess, I mean, for me it basically falters down to the ending and some of the less subtle stuff at the end. But I would still say it was at least somewhat decent and good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. More than you, I guess.
Yeah. You gave it 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. November.
Yes. The second thing I've watched was Shang-Chi, so I
Let's
guess we
talk
could
about
talk about
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Shang-Chi, you liked it.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
good
didn't
too. Yes.
I didn't expect a movie to instantly make me feel insecure about my Chinese, but otherwise, yeah, it was good.
I liked the movie too. I think I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Because okay, first of all, let's agree on the beauty of the choreography.
Yeah, the martial arts aspects were good.
It stayed true to the martial art, and it stayed true.
And also the rings.
The
The
rings
rings
was a really
effects were
yes,
really good.
yes. In general, the VFX is like really seamless nowadays.
Nah, okay, no, that I disagree with.
No, but really, in the end, like this
No,
giant
no,
fight-
the fucking thing, that fucking thing looked artificial as hell.
What thing? You mean Morris? This faceless thing?
Yeah,
Okay, what really?
like whatever monster they fought at the end, like,
Okay, you
and
mean
also-
a monster? Okay.
yeah,
No, I mean when the VFX is like, not the main focus on a frame. It's like integrated
Yeah.
really well, but like, okay, in the
Okay.
end, it's like your typical Marvel movie. And now we can use the word movie. It's just, yeah.
movie.
It,
Yeah,
it really
movie.
is just one.
Oh yeah,
It
man.
really just
Yeah.
wants to go bigger, bigger, bigger. And I'm sorry. Even though I liked it, I can't give it more than 3 stars. I thought about giving it 4 maybe, but then I realized that I don't know, just some things you know you have you
I
have
think-
those stereotypes again. In Marvel movies,
Which ones?
you have like the sidekick played by Aquafina, who always comes in.
Oh, I would say Ben
jokes.
Kingsley was then more of a, insult than her.
Yeah, because I really don't like the role Aquafina played. I mean, like really, more
Okay.
than half of the time she's just joking around. She's there for comedic relief.
Yes.
And okay,
I mean, I would say that I enjoyed this movie for, I guess, 3 aspects. I guess the cultural one,
yes,
Tony Leung,
yes,
and the fight choreography with that, and him actually being a good villain
yes,
in this Marvel flick.
yes,
Like, great actor, also in the mood for
Yes.
love. Check Mood for Love
in the
out.
mood for love.
Yes. And also, while it dampened the dramatic effect, I did laugh a lot. This movie made me laugh a lot.
Okay.
The story wasn't like, the story beats were moving in a pace that, suited for main audiences. Don't question everything, how they just kind of easily solve this or that. But I could still have fun with it. The ways they did it, like how you said with Aquafina and everything, and also I mentioned Ben Kingsley. He's just kind of, I guess, there.
Okay. Yes, I may be way too biased here because it's a Marvel movie and this alone.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, just the brand alone just introduces a huge bias. But
And you
yeah,
were more of a Marvel fan than I was.
yeah, I don't know. It just kind of. But I mean, I really adore you for um not really um having that
Being
bias.
biased?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just enjoying the film, just really independently from its brand,
Hmm.
from everything else, the universe
Yeah.
it
I will say though that
takes
I,
place in.
yeah.
But okay, so maybe I mostly have the same positive aspects as you. Um, Perhaps the soundtrack I did find more enjoyable because it's like a more hip hop trap soundtrack.
I did enjoy that as well.
Okay, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I think it fit really well with the fighting. Um,
Hmm.
Many people compared it to Black Panther actually. Um,
I haven't seen Black Panther.
okay, yeah, whatever. So
Yeah.
the Black Panther soundtrack is similar, um, because it's of the same genre,
Hmm.
and but what really just didn't work for me was everything that happened in this village. And here I
You mean the dramatic aspect
no, just
of like which village? Are you talking about the village where?
the last village
Oh, okay,
where the big
the
fight
last
happens.
one.
The last village, the last village. um, no, because I shall um, say that the visual effects up until this point were really good because it
I don't
kind
know
of
the fluffy thing. It
yeah, no,
was
up until this
whatever.
point when they got into the village, everything else was like I just found it really ugly. Like bright daylight, which was obviously fake.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
The
cinematography. We don't need to mention that. That can go straight to the garbage.
yeah, it's like it's like really
It
Marvel
looks.
again. It's so
It looks. It looks like real life. I don't want that shit, bro.
yeah, yeah. It looks like
Yeah,
god damn it. It's like so overexposed. I don't know
yeah.
how can you
I have no
hurt my
idea. No
eyes?
idea.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
um and the last fight was just okay. You got the CGI fight as you do in
yeah.
every Marvel
That's
movie.
true. And
And
Tony Leung seemed a bit too. I mean, I guess you can make the same case with Thanos that he was, why couldn't he just snap enough food for everyone? Same question here. Why is he so like I found the way how he was portrayed to wanting his wife back so deeply that he neglected so many things about obviously red flags that it was indeed just some monster calling to him, but and not his wife. I found it kind of you know stupid.
I found it stupid too because it just really, you see, it only serves one purpose to have this giant CGI fight in the end. Why can't the main character and his father just be the last fight? I mean, it would have been such a more profound ending because in the end, the big fight just
Yeah, but
overshadows what's come before.
I will agree to some extent. But I do think that Tony Leung redeeming himself in the very end is kind of important.
It's important, yes, yes, yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it's
Busted.
it's good for yeah. It was essential for his character, but he could have
Yeah.
redeemed himself in the end in another way if they weren't that big monster.
Yeah, maybe. How about if okay, Aquafina just has to do something, so they let her shoot the arrow.
Yeah, I mean,
Unfortunately,
look.
otherwise I would just want Tony Leung to sacrifice himself and then defeating the dragon.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
or maybe you have to somehow uh you know close that gate, and he sacrifices himself closing that gate or something. And we don't actually see much of the monster, but of course we can't do that.
how Shang-Chi should have ended.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, and
I like how the story involves a character who's more I hate to say this word again, lost in his life. Like he is Shang-Chi is kind of in a dot with his girlfriend, in a comfort zone,
Yes.
not striving for greatness, being an underachiever. And I do like that aspect of the story,
Mm-hmm.
that he is kind of running away from his past and I guess his destiny, and then he has to come to terms with it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that.
And also that he's
And
like really low key, right? Many people actually point this as a negative aspect, but
what exactly, Loki?
that 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 Shang-Chi, Simu Liu's performance is not that memorable, but it kind of fits
Oh,
with his character because his character is like more unique. That's why low key, because the character is more um it's not that
more Loki, you mean?
it's less expressive. He's like more mm,
I don't
he's
know. I
like
thought he was
quieter.
fine.
He's like quieter. Um,
Mm,
but people actually, yeah, I don't know what I personally think about his performance. I think it was okay. It was normal. It's not bad. It's
mm-hmm.
not good. It was fine. But um, maybe because other like the other protagonists of the other movies always stand out in their own rights. Maybe that contrasted a lot with Shang-Chi, and perhaps even Aquafina sometimes stole the show. And I don't know if it's a good thing if the side character steals the show.
Did
Um,
she though? I mean, I thought she was
Sometimes
pretty. Uh,
because I think
okay,
Simu didn't really talk a lot. He was like more the silent guy who just got things done. But yeah,
kind of, but I think especially when he was the dramatic scenes also with Tony Leung, he didn't. He was okay. He wasn't getting roasted by Tony Leung's acting talent in the scenes together.
oh god, yeah, right. Um,
Like that could have ended
that could
badly.
have really ended badly. Yeah, maybe
You
maybe
know,
Tony Leung just you know
went easy on him,
no, he intentionally acted worse.
bruh.
Bro, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. We don't know. It's fine. Go watch Shang-Chi. It's for being a Marvel movie. It's more than passable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like your Marvel movie reskinned
your Marvel
with an
movie,
Asian character,
right? Yes. Um,
and it and the, I like the Chinese aspects as someone of I guess
yeah,
that heritage.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of. It wasn't um Hollywoodized, you know.
yeah,
It
it felt
still it
natural
felt
enough.
natural and stayed true. Yes.
Yeah, I could relate to Aquafina being bad at her Chinese.
Yes. Oh my
You know.
God. um.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's why I also like this movie more
Yeah.
than
hmm
yeah. Oh, and apparently I also gave it only a 3.5.
Okay, then Letterbox is really bamboozling us and
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Um.
But whatever. 3.5 or 4. Together with your score, we have a 3.5 on average.
Yeah,
Whatever.
which is good for Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Um. Okay, I actually watched Palm Springs a
Yeah,
week before
I'm
Shang-Chi, and I
I'm
just
curious about that.
yeah, I really didn't like it. I don't know why people like this movie. I
Okay.
think it's not original, first of all, and maybe I
So
didn't.
what is it about?
Okay,
I don't know anything except that it stars Andy Samberg from the Lonely Island and um
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn
Yeah.
Nine-Nine. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and okay, so it's a time loop movie
Okay.
where the main character, I mean, yeah, relives every day,
Hmm.
and you can actually
In Palm Springs.
in Palm Springs, and you can actually drag other people into this time loop, and
Hmm.
then he and the girl character Zara played by Christine Milioti, try to find a way out. So then it's
Okay.
about existentialism and things you have in your time.
But it's a comedy.
But it's a comedy, yeah.
Okay.
And I just don't think it was too original, and it ended so abruptly, and it felt like it went nowhere, really. But maybe perhaps I was.
But that's it's a time loop
Yeah,
movie. Like,
you felt like the characters didn't really go anywhere. I don't know.
okay, so they didn't change
Not
enough
that
for you,
much,
or
not percent.
okay,
Maybe I was not paying my fullest attention to the movie. Maybe I really should rewatch it, because like according to the ratings, it's like really well received. Like it's like really really well received. Um,
yeah.
I mean, The Contrarian gave it 4
This is
stars.
an inside.
It's just
This
an
is an
inside
inside
joke.
joke.
It's someone on
Whatever.
Letterboxd. Yeah, he gave it 4 stars. They
Yeah.
gave it 4 stars. A popular German critic, David Hein, gave it 4 stars as well. But I just didn't really enjoy it. I don't know. That's why I gave it only 2 stars, because I felt like I was watching something and just really didn't get anything out of it.
Okay.
So yeah, probably for my own sake and for my own disbelief, I should watch it again. But
Okay.
I don't know if I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
You also
Palm
play.
Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also watched Play It Safe.
Have you watched Play It Safe?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I know it's isn't this a movie short film?
It's a movie short film, and it's like so intense. Okay, let me quickly describe this film.
Okay, sell me on this. Sell me.
Okay. So it's about this black okay, I mentioned he's black because it plays a role in the film. Otherwise I wouldn't say it. So the protagonist is a black theater student, an acting student.
Mhm.
And he's struggling with being put into like stereotypical roles for black people. So he got pitched. So this is actually rather minor. So he got pitched a role where he was to play I think a suburban black dude, you know, with that Afro-American accent or black accent. And then you realize, okay, this is like his environment doesn't really understand him, and it's even though it's like an acting school, and this acting school is propagating openness and tolerance and the elimination of stereotypes.
Yeah.
He still falls into that role, you know. He still finds himself getting pitched that role. But then,
so it's about more subtle aspects of
it's more subtle,
racism.
Yeah. It's more subtle, and the camera is so the camera guidance is so interesting in this one, because the camera is so open. It's like it's handheld, it's shaky, and it's so open in his face, and just really focusing on his almost micro expressions, because the character doesn't say a lot.
Okay.
And then really shit gets serious, because they have like this rehearsal for an upcoming play, and every acting student is to draw a card and play that animal that is depicted on the card.
God.
And you can guess which animal he gets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And this short film makes you feel so uncomfortable. It makes you feel so uncomfortable, and at the same time, it shows you that you yourself, you know, are biased, because you shouldn't be really feeling uncomfortable. You would not feel uncomfortable if a white guy got this card, but you feel uncomfortable because this black guy got this card, you know. And even though we say there's no difference,
I guess we should synthesize with that, right?
Yeah,
that he
Yeah.
feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We should feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
So
yes.
bias in a good sense, I guess.
Bias in a
or
good
I guess
sense.
that context matters.
That context matters. But even though we like in our daily lives and yeah, and we're taught not to differentiate between skin colors.
People.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still doing it subconsciously because it's wired, and because we're uncomfortable, we realize, oh yeah, shit, I'm not really not to say any different, but I maybe the differentiation hasn't fully taken place for us,
Mm-hmm.
and so this the protagonist has to act like this animal, behave like this animal, get into the role of this animal, and holy shit, it's so spellbinding because the teacher actually tells him, okay, you don't have to do this, you can drop this card, but he chooses to perform his role, right? He chooses to perform his
Oh.
role, and the whole time, the camera doesn't show him. The camera shows the expression, the reactions of his peers, and what you hear are sounds of him, like gestures of him, maybe like touching.
Okay,
touching
I think you
like the
you
haptic,
basically explained the short film.
the haptic sounds, the cries he performs, and it's so it's like, oh my god, it's so intense, and the reactions of
Okay.
of their peers is like so intense as well, and yeah, that's basically the short film. Sorry, I couldn't help but to basically
Just explain everything.
yeah, I mean, but still, you should watch it. You should watch
I
it.
will still watch it
I
because
mean,
it's
it's only-
13 minutes long,
it's
but
only-
otherwise I would be kind of mad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess that speaks for how good it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, you watched Sunshine. Maybe you can talk about Sunshine, Mulan, and maybe the other movies that you watched, and then
And then we will talk about No Time to Die.
and
Okay.
then I will talk a little bit about Last Night in Soho.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Sunshine is a Danny Boyle flick from 2007, starring Cillian Murphy, and it's I would say it's a very beautiful science fiction horror film, where the last act feels like the most goofiest horror film ever.
It's a horror film.
It is a horror film, yeah. So
my
basically,
God, okay.
the plot is that in this hypothetical future, the sun is actually dying, meaning we are in a second ice age, and on the verge of basically extinction because it's getting too cold for anything to grow and everything. And they basically sent out a spaceship with like a huge load of explosives to reignite the sun, and that's kind of their goal. And
Okay.
yeah, so interesting premise, and it kind of then deals with, like, I guess, like the obstacles around that. There are some undertones of religion, and it's really interesting. It feels a bit esoteric. I guess that's intentionally so, because it's also very beautifully shot. But it
maybe
is,
because of the subject matter.
yeah.
I mean, would you call it existential? It's definitely existential, right?
Definitely,
when
yeah.
the fate of,
Yeah.
of the human race is at
Yeah,
stake.
and you see like the pressure also, like getting to these people and turning basically some people into fanatics, with like the sun playing a major role in this movie.
Okay. Yes.
It is dark, it is interesting, and it has probably one of the better, like, we talked about the Alien Space Crew and you in particular not liking it. This is basically when they were a bit less shitty and a bit more enjoyable to watch.
Wait, there are aliens in this film.
No, I'm talking about Alien the movie.
Okay.
But you didn't enjoy the crew there. I'm just saying the crew here is a bit more enjoyable.
Oh, okay.
Because they are like more scientist acting
But then,
and interesting. Chris Evans plays a great role as like this hot-headed but still logical person who still wants to do good but butts heads because of, there are difficult decisions to be made in this movie. And he's kind of then on the other side. And where the main conflict arises is when we get to, so the name of the ship is Icarus 2 because there actually was an Icarus 1. So Icarus, of course, after like the mythology, for obvious reasons. And Icarus 1 had a weird accident. Nobody actually knows why they didn't deliver their so-called payload, like the explosives. And that's kind of where the movie gets more into the horror aspect.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. Yeah.
And it is really good. It up to a certain point, I would say it's a very well-made, slow, thought-provoking science fiction film with a lot of human drama, and that feels realistic while also having a certain spiritual tone to it. But in the end, it kind of dives into a bit of horror movie schlock.
Okay.
A bit. So people are not that fond of the ending. I'm fine with it, but I would say it is definitely the weaker part.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's why only 3.5.
I gave it 4.
What? Letterboxd shows me like 3.5.
Because that's what I initially gave it, I guess.
Okay, so okay. Well, that's good enough. I mean, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah. So that's Shine. Really enjoy. I would say if you're a science fiction fan who also likes just a touch of horror.
Just a touch of horror.
Just a touch. Yeah, and you aren't, it's not they don't go into it. It's not as hard sci-fi.
Okay,
but still, I think it's good enough in both aspects.
So it deals more with the human psyche, I suppose, than about
the human psyche, but also like I guess also in on the surface like the mission, because there are lots of things they have to deal with, lots of obstacles there.
But it's not an action film, right? It's nothing but an action film. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you watched Mulan.
I watched
gave it
Mulan.
3.5.
Yeah,
but you gave
as a
Shang-Chi
Chinese.
four. Wow, what a disgrace, Michael.
Disgrace on your cow.
We can actually quit the podcast right here. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like what? Like how can you give Mulan 3.5?
What the heck? What is all of you people's problems? It's a freaking Disney movie. Like okay, it's good, but I don't know.
Yeah, look, now you're biased.
No.
Now you're the one who's biased.
No, it's not because I gave Beauty and the Beast a 5 out of 5. What are you talking about?
Right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. I guess I don't think anyone needs to I don't need to reiterate the story of Mulan.
Just give us an explanation as to why you gave the film 3.5.
Your Honor, I gave it 3.5 because no, just kidding. But I don't think I have to really remember because this is 1 month ago. I was really opinionated on that 1 month earlier.
It's because you're a patriarch and you can't stand. No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely. No, I don't like. Okay. I don't think the movie deals with humor and serious elements well.
You mean that the change
like, I don't
in tone is like drastic? Because it is sometimes.
Eddie Murphy is funny, I don't buy him as like this dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, like these things. I don't know. It's hard to
Yeah,
explain.
and yeah.
I I don't have anything against the movie having a fairly simple message. It's a good message, that as a girl you shouldn't feel restricted in what you want to become, I guess.
Okay.
And Li Shang is cool, and everyone and of their peers is also cool, and I do like the music in it. Like also the montage scene where they train together is great. Shan Yu, like the Mongolian, I guess Chinese to Mongolian villain, I didn't think he had that much depth. Like he was a good villain, but
Like
he
he was,
wasn't.
yeah, he didn't have depth, but he's like, I mean, just by his looks, he's like so menacing. He
Yes,
looks like a
yes,
fucking
that,
demon,
yeah,
and he's ruthless. And I think this,
yeah.
like, besides, okay, like some Disney movies, that came before Mulan had some darker undertones and some darker scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Notably, like when when Tarzan discovers that his
I
family
think it's
was
Tarzan.
Tarzan. What did I say?
Tarzan.
Tarzan. No, when Tarzan discovers that his family got killed by a tiger, this was like brutal for Disney standards, and Mulan had like a bunch of those scenes, and
Yeah.
not only
Did it?
like, yeah, like when they arrive at this village and everything is
Yeah,
burned
that's the
down.
one thing, but we don't see it. It's not that brutal. I
Yeah, you
mean,
don't
it's
have
hinted
to
at
see
that
it,
the.
but it's like
No,
still
I
has
don't.
emotional impact.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But and then the dragon, oh god, Mushu is not the only,
Mushu,
it's like
yeah.
not the only character. So he does have I think a greater role than just being comedic relief.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mulan and both Mushu want to prove themselves.
Yes. So
Yeah,
yeah, he's
but
not just a sidekick who just throws
but
in jokes.
the the comedic elements just sometimes they didn't work for me.
Okay.
And also how like Mushu and like the little what is it? Cricket?
Oh yeah, the
Kind of
cricket. Yeah.
play a role with how Mulan has to act, or when they like the shenanigans with them. I didn't find it that interesting.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Like overall, I enjoyed it. Oh, I also wouldn't say I liked the look of the movie that much.
Okay. How come?
Like I think it looks a bit flat.
What?
Like no, I'm genuinely serious. Except for maybe like the panoramic shot when like the
You mean like?
when the snowy mountain
Oh, okay,
there
yeah.
when that happens.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, I guess I like the designs of the characters and everything, but I don't know. The animation was fine. I didn't think it was that great.
Okay.
Like the yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, okay. I mean,
I don't know. We should have made this like a month earlier.
yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's a good time because it's New Year.
New Year, and I'm already dishonoring.
Dishonoring your roots.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. I watched 2 short films.
Paperman
One-
and Destino.
Yeah, Paperman is fine. I don't know if there's anything to say to it. It's cutesy. Men and women meet up through in this repressing work environment, somewhat. Like pursuing, I guess, love over corporate things. I don't know. It's just cute.
It looks good. It looks unique. I looked into it.
Yeah, it's just
And you rewatched it?
I think I saw it when I was younger. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And Destino is interesting because it was a collaboration between Walt Disney and actually Dali, Salvador Dali.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
idea what it means. It's like this very abstract thing, but I liked it really much. So it was a very enjoyable watch. Like the surreal imagery, the transformations between them, how they would morph to each other. And in like Dali's style, which is all, I'm a fan of Dali, so I like it.
Yeah, the movie, I when I gathered like picture material for the podcast later on, I found Destino to have like this really distinct look.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it's really a painting in itself somehow. And
In every of its frames.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you have spare time, it's 7 minutes. Just watch it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And then I watched
And
Beauty
then
and the Beast.
5 stars. Beauty and the Beast.
I don't even know what I want to say. I mean, the story is timeless, and I would say this this adaptation is timeless as well. It's a well-made telling of this movie, and I feel like people that criticize some aspects of, I don't know, the girl not being empowered enough or something, I find it ridiculous because I don't know, it's not so simple. Like some people would say, oh, it's just what is this when you're falling in love with your capturer? It's not that. He is genuinely warming up to her, and she was also not acting that nice to him at the beginning. And Belle isn't that one-dimensional as well, and she's not just like it's funny how the new movie tries to focus on books. I mean, she likes books, but more importantly, she likes to have a more exciting life. That's kind of hinted at with her not loving that village life and everything. And I can't say much about it. It just looks beautiful, like the beginning introduction with like a fairy tale-esque telling of what has happened is great. I like the songs. I like Gaston as a villain.
Yes.
He's funny, and he is he works good as a counterpart. Like, it's not something subtle, but it works really effectively. That's what I would say about this movie. It's just a very effective thing for something very simple.
And did you get emotional?
Yes, I did.
No pun intended, but this was the most beautiful movie I have seen in a while.
Yeah, because it was a beautiful movie. I mean, it was, it's not about, like, the message about looking into the inner self of someone.
Yes.
It's a very important message, and they do it well.
Damn, yeah. I have to admit,
I'm actually surprised that you give it a 3 stars. I think I'm more... Oh, okay, you are more on the median than I am, but still.
Yeah, to be honest, I just wanted to say that I was like really very little when I watched this film, and it didn't stuck with me, like a film like Mulan or something.
Yeah, I would. I
So
mean,
actually,
probably story-wise, Mulan is probably more interesting to us because
Yeah.
we are of, I guess, that cultural background.
But yeah, you're right. But Beauty and the Beast deals like with a more universal theme. I can't. Yeah.
Both are universal themes, but
Both
I
are
think
universal themes. But Beauty and the Beast is not, in its setting and other aspects that restrictive. Because Mulan takes place in China, and
Yeah.
not everyone.
It takes place in China.
China.
Who would have thought?
Takes place in China.
What?
And many people have this barrier when they see, characters on screen that they
Oh,
look alike.
yeah, you would say.
But like Beauty and the
Yeah.
Beast is like so abstract that
I mean, I guess it's kind of a French city.
yes,
I think. Yeah, it does play
Yes.
in France, I think.
yes,
So,
yeah. God, my brother just screamed. Did you hear him?
no.
Okay, luckily.
Psh, don't mention it.
Don't mention it. I mean, we're 100% transparent. You're basically here with us. Oh my god.
Except that you can't say anything.
Yeah, except
Only
that.
we can talk about movies because we have the authority. Just kidding.
Um. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also like how the Beast, like his transformation, both as a person inside and outside, is also very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like even so much so, I mean, he changes from a somewhat more egotistical and cynical and just depressed person because he's in his form, in his current beast curse, and to like loving Belle genuinely because she sees in him the person he is, or like his personality, and that he then decides to basically that her life is more worth to him than the lives of basically his entire castle. Is it powerful? It hits. That's love.
Wow. Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
And
I think I have to rewatch it. Unfortunately, like our Disney Plus subscription is expired.
I mean,
But yeah, I mean,
as far as
come
I
on,
know,
it's
some
like
friends of us want to get it back, right?
yeah, but I mean, it's like 30 years old, right? You can find this movie literally everywhere. It's probably
Yeah.
free on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get if people don't like it because it's kind of not, I wouldn't say it's overrated, but I would say that it has been shown a lot. Like, you're exposed to it in some way or another.
Yeah.
So it might, that might dampen the impact.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Then let's talk about,
yeah, I wanted to talk about Last Night in Soho.
yes,
And then
the new Edgar Wright
the
flick.
new Edgar Wright flick, which is, yeah, it's good. I mean, I think I should have given it 3 stars, but I gave
Yeah,
it
I feel
4.
like,
But
so I talked to Josh about it already in private, and it feels like Josh is really just giving this movie 4 because he knows it's an original film.
I'm like forcing myself to give this movie 4 stars because, like, this movie is okay. So it's about oh god, I forgot the name of the character. No, it's played by Thomasin McKenzie, the protagonist. It goes to London to study fashion design, and
Yeah.
she is absolutely
Basically obsessed with
yeah.
1960s, yeah.
She's obsessed with London in the 1960s, and she discovers this other world where she gets transported into the 60s,
Yeah.
and we see the 60s then through the lens of Anya Taylor-Joy's character, and so the relation between Thomasin McKenzie's character and Anya Taylor-Joy's character is vague in the beginning, and Thomasin is like most of the time just observing what's happening, and then she wakes up the other day back in now where she is, in like waking up in reality, and soon like those two universes kind of fuse together,
The Last Night in Soho universe.
the Last Night in Soho universe, and then it's hard to distinguish anymore what's quote unquote real and what's not, and what's only dreamt. And
Okay.
so yeah, that's basically the premise. And
I mean, I guess from what I understand, on the meta surface, it's or meta level, it's more about, I guess also the dark sides of the 60s, right?
yes, the dark sides of the 60s, and how, yes, actually superficial the 60s are, and the
Yeah,
like the
discrimination.
yeah, and the roles women actually play in the 60s. And yeah, and so the film is actually, it's enjoyable, and that it's enjoyable because the performances are really great. Thomasin McKenzie's character is this timid, shy, curious girl. Whereas Anya Taylor-Joy just emits this self-confidence that is so infectious, and like both are so beautiful. Not gonna lie, they're really beautiful actresses.
Okay,
And
true.
and the some of the side characters are truly unnecessary and truly just flat as a piece of paper, and that's
Yeah.
definitely a downside of the film, because it has some of more or less really old school elements. So if you didn't already know, it's a horror film, and
Yes.
the horror elements are so 60s in itself. So you have like
60s in themselves. Okay.
so there are like really elements that you see in old horror films. Like for instance, character turns around and there's a guy standing behind you. Okay, it's not necessarily so old school, it's still used, but it's like a common technique. You can say that it plays with tropes a lot. It plays with tropes a lot, and it's no wonder, because Edgar Wright is like this filmmaker that deeply loves. I mean, he's not even that old, but he's in love with old cinema, and he draws a lot from his inspirations. And you have, for instance, also have.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
like a lot of things
Shaun of the
are.
Dead and Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz don't feel like they are inspired by very old cinema.
Yeah, but like Baby Driver, it's like you
More so.
not all of his films, but many films are paying homages.
Yeah, they're paying homage,
Yeah,
I would
and
say,
in
is the
Last Night in
general
Soho,
theme.
it's like they're paying a whole bunch of homages, and so the narrative isn't something. It's not really. It doesn't have big twists or anything. But
Hot Fuzz had a big twist. Hot Fuzz had a big twist,
yeah, I
though.
mean, it's in particular Last Night in Soho, being a horror
Yeah.
film, it doesn't have big twists. It just keeps
Okay.
going. It's the pacing is really good. I like the pacing, and another grudge I have with this movie is just the ending. The ending is like, oh my god, it's like so kitsch. The ending is like so kitsch.
Dude, you feel like you're on copium trying to give this movie praise.
Yeah, like, but still, there's something about this movie that just gets me. It may be the costumes, it may be the soundtrack. The soundtrack is not. I mean, yeah, it's very prominent. It's really good, the soundtrack. And just the cinematography as well. I really like the lighting in this film. And this
Okay.
time, some elements are synced again with the music, but more like a lot more subtle.
Okay.
And I really did like that. So there's
Why did I think in my head that like someone like hacking with an axe on like a person in the beat?
what?
Like them slamming that axe into someone's body
What?
on beat.
On Beat.
because
Oh
it's
my
horror
God.
movie.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
I
it's
thought of that, but you said
yeah,
more subtly.
yeah. It's more. It's subtler, definitely. And
Okay.
yeah, I think it's just a mixture of performance, looks, and just because it's this film just feels. This is like so pretentious, but it feels passionate. Like he was really passionate about it. He didn't try to imitate something, um, because it's actually everything is from his experiences. He tried to
Of a 60-year-old, 60s woman.
yeah do it in a different way, like introduce a little spin, and it's just I don't know, Edgar Wright just seems like a really lovely guy. He
He does seem
cares,
like a
yeah,
lovely
he
guy.
cares for his actors and actresses. He cares
Hmm.
for his films. He really loves what he's doing. He's not doing it for reputation, for money. He's mostly working studio independently, and this is
Hmm.
it's just something that I really respect. And
Yeah.
that's why I probably will leave it at four stars. Yes, because I don't know, maybe
And you're not
soon.
forcing yourself to
Oh
do
my
so.
God, Michael.
Yes?
And because it's like maybe we won't get to see any of these films anymore, you know, because like Edgar Wright is maybe you could say that his films are author films. Do you say
The
that,
same could we
author
say
film?
about Nolan.
Nolan,
I
yeah,
mean,
because it's like he's so invested in his films. He has say in the editing, in cinematography, and directing, and I mean that's respectable. Not every director
mm,
has this amount of passion, um, that he or she puts into his films. So yeah, that's
they
why
are
I think
unique.
last
It
night,
does feel like him. Yeah.
yeah, and that's why I feel like, and also that he's trying something new. You know,
Yeah, yeah. It's not
this
a comedy
yeah, it's not a
like his
comedy.
rest.
It doesn't. It has really just only a few comedic elements in there.
Okay.
Um,
Dang.
so he's trying something new, and I respect that. I think I think it's good that he's expanding his comfort zone or even leaving his comfort zone. And I want to support him. That's why I gave it 4 stars. It's not like, oh my God, why is he suddenly doing horror instead of what he's usually known for? And that's why I
Mm.
don't like it. Uh, I don't think that's
I don't,
really, yeah,
but I don't think most
reasonable.
people think that. I think most people, from what I've heard, most people think he just doesn't do the horror elements that well.
Yeah, uh, yeah, because like you can't learn from, you can't really grow as a director if you don't do mistakes. As simple as that.
So
And
you're saying he did a mistake?
no, but it's not a mistake. It's like, if things are
A
not
learning
running that
progress.
smoothly, it's like a learning progress. And I'm still glad that, Last Night in Soho has at least a 3.5 rating on Letterboxd, and people are
Yeah.
actually, recognizing that he's putting effort in it, that he's like that it's still him somehow, that he's
Hmm.
leaving his personal imprint on the film, but just critiquing elements of the film that, just still trying to be polite and not really bashing this film in or something. Because I can't see why people want to bash this film in, because it has some elements which are really uh, rage inducing. Um, so yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, look, The Contrarian writes pretty bad, although not without its scattered charms either. And I get that. I get that. Yeah, and that's basically Last Night in Soho. If you love Edgar Wright, go watch it because you're obligated to, basically.
Except for me.
Except for you, but you should watch it too. I mean, really, just watch it.
Sometime.
Sounds like really simple. Just watch it.
Just watch it.
Just
Just have
watch
some
it. Just
time.
have some time, man. Yeah. Okay. Let's sum November up with
With
No Time
No
to
Time to
Die, which is
Die.
shit.
Yeah, I hated it.
We both hated
Mostly.
it.
It was boring as hell.
It had no redeeming elements, except that it tried to introduce a female Bond, which in itself is good, but the film doesn't do anything with its new aspects that it introduces.
Not a lot, that's true. I mean, the banter. I mean, I guess it's just some banter to at the end confirm, yeah, it's still Bond, and even she learned to respect him and give him back
Yeah.
the 007 thing.
007. 007.
Yeah. 007. Yeah. Okay. I mean, what is there to say?
Okay, wait.
I mean, honestly, like the filming of this movie seems more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah.
With Daniel Craig just kissing Rami Malek after every scene on the mouth, probably.
Yes. Despite Corona Mona. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Daniel Craig is probably like waking up with, like, sweating, thinking about the many people he has kissed on set. If he has corona. Yeah.
Didn't we want to have a dedicated episode of us roasting this film, or should we just
originally?
Yeah. Okay, maybe we can just keep it brief because I think we can just really roast this film for hours.
Probably.
Okay.
Like, if you measured my heartbeat during this movie, I would have 2 spikes during 2 stupid jump scares. And then during the action scenes, it would be completely flat, as if I was dying.
And
like nothing of that action is of note.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like Bond is really struggling a lot. Like, there are just some scenes where, he was caught off by that, but then he immediately, gets back up and solves it immediately. And also, the car chases are sometimes so freaking boring. Like, the one in the middle is so boring.
Like, so boring.
Like, let's try ramming them. That will do. Yes, it worked. The car just fucking flipped.
Yeah, but it looked pretty. But this film has like this film looks not even
the redeeming aspects of this movie are that it is competently filmed, that it has some nice transition, like nice cuts.
Yes.
Like, for example, for the 007 intro thing at the beginning, that was nice.
That was good. Yes.
Yes.
It has a good song. I like the song. I
think it's fine.
Yeah, you think it's fine?
Yes.
But Michael, I mean, the technical aspect that they're on point. It's not a surprise. But
it's not a surprise. I'm just saying what I will give the movie some credit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say that technical that the imagery even looks that good, because honestly, this film at times looks like an advertisement. It has an advertisement look. It has this clean, unblemished, polished look, as if you just I don't know, cleaned your kitchen. Like, you have those lens flares. It could seriously be from like J.J. Abrams.
I mean, it's a generic look.
It's really
very generic.
It doesn't have anything special. Everything is generic about this movie. And as you said, Michael, the pulse, your pulse just basically reflects this entire movie. It reflects the relationship between James and Léa Seydoux's character, which is just we don't feel anything for them.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, it's a Bond movie. It's hard. I know that it is kind of hard to pull off a Bond that is both emotional and yet, I mean, this movie tries to be so many different things.
Yes.
On the one hand, it tries to be like this fun thing, like fun James Bond, like fun, him being this a man Bond. That awesome.
Yes.
People would want to sleep with him, but they constantly undercut it with a joke because we are now living in a woke era, and it makes sense, I guess.
Yes.
On the same time, we have like these aspects of like Bond wanting to settle down. he doesn't want to do this shit anymore. He has a child now. And the dramatic aspects, and it just doesn't, I just don't feel much about
Yeah.
it. Like, Skyfall did
Yes.
that so much better.
Yeah.
Or Casino Royale.
Yeah. And this film just, like compared to Casino Royale or Skyfall, this film just lacks intrigue.
Yes.
It lacks so much intrigue. Everything is on such a grand, on such a grand scale. Everything has to be big, and as you said before, James Bond is really like James Bond, from 30 years ago. This picture of a
Yeah.
man, of the strong man who
Yeah,
can't show
like
any feelings, but they
the dream of every man.
yeah, but they still kind of try to make him weak and a little bit more emotional,
Fragile,
fragile,
emotional, hurt.
but in the
You
end,
know?
it's like, yeah, I'm still the same Bond, and everything else, yeah, just doesn't faze me,
Yeah.
and it's
And
just
I'm
really
still the
sad.
same badass.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like
just-
drinking tequila while fighting in that
Oh
one
my God,
thing.
yes.
Like when they in the middle just decide, like that scene was so terrible. Like first introducing like this new rookie, and she's so new, and she has to wear the sexy dress, and obviously James Bond has to mistaken her for wanting to sleep with him instantly, and
Oh my
and she
God,
didn't
yes.
mean that.
Yes.
And then them just kicking ass without any feeling. Like their only real rival is just the other Bond, like the new 007.
Yeah.
And then them drinking tequila after another round of just fighting with their guns. It just feels so like I don't feel anything. Like
Yeah.
is this supposed to be fun?
This is just, yeah, absolutely. And like, I just feel like they wanted to really, because it's Daniel Craig's last film, they wanted to maybe go back to the original 007 roots, and by that paying him like a tribute. But like the Daniel Craig era,
It's
is
a
like
different-
so,
it's a different
like
one.
such a different
Yeah.
era, and this film just doesn't fit into it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Casino Royale, Skyfall, they were like pioneering James Bond films. They did something other Bond films didn't even think about.
They humanized Bond.
They humanized
And
Bond.
but in a way that it worked.
Yes, yes. And then just No Time to Die erases everything. Just erases
Yeah.
everything. And it's so sad. And the villain is like, oh my
Rami
God.
Malek
I
is
just-
so freaking wasted.
It's so wasted.
Pro-
and Christoph
Yeah, it's
Waltz
like-
is so wasted as well.
Yeah, like they're just like mustache swirling villains. Like Rami Malek's speeches about at first introducing like this sad backstory where you think, oh, he wants revenge on that organization. Turns out he just thinks, yeah, those are just the things that guide us, and he just wants to kill everyone, I guess. Like it's
Yeah.
not interesting.
Yeah. And I can, so probably people who like this film, I'm like more, I guess, more attuned to the old Bond films. They like
But they would be bored during those emotional moments,
yeah,
and
they would
would
they
ask
would.
themselves, "Huh, why isn't he sleeping with anyone?"
Yeah, okay.
There are
okay,
only
yeah,
constant jokes that he will sleep with her, but she doesn't mean it that way.
yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean, only because the 007 series is like has its roots in the 60s doesn't mean it doesn't like it's not like it doesn't have the right to change, right? To maybe try new directions.
Yeah, I mean, Casino Royale and Skyfall change it pretty well.
yeah, yeah. And
This one just feels like a mess.
and I'm sorry, like the Contrarian, like we mentioned, like why do we always mention the Contrarian?
You are constantly
Okay,
mentioning
I'm constantly
Contrarian. I'm not
mentioning
mentioning it.
But okay,
him.
just generally in Letterboxd, this film has a 3.6 rating, which is relatively high, I would even say. So
It is high.
So there's
Too high.
Too high, to be honest.
Yes.
If we compare it like to Spectre, I think Spectre has 3.1. Yeah, Spectre has a 3.1 rating. And I don't know, I kind of like Spectre more.
I mean, I haven't seen Spectre,
Yeah,
so I don't
Spectre
really
is like
care.
Spectre is at least more intriguing. Spectre has an atmosphere.
Mm.
No Time to Die has no atmosphere at all. Yeah. I
Who's
don't
this
know.
director? Kari Joji
Naga.
Fukunaga?
I think he
What the
directed.
heck? Okay. I know not. Oh, okay, I know genre, but I haven't seen it. Whatever. Okay. He's not a
Yeah.
complete nobody, but I was just like, wow.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to like wrap up a bond. I get it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. They not everything was necessary. I mean, they didn't mention like um the movie after Casino Royale,
Quantum Solace.
Solace. Yes, thank you.
Quantum of
Like that didn't
Solace.
play a role. Why couldn't they just say, okay, that movie doesn't play a role. We also make Spectre not play a role, and then focus on it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I,
Let's move on, honestly.
fuck this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, I don't know. We both,
Yeah,
Michael gave it,
we paid extra. We
we
paid
paid
extra
extra
to see this movie,
because it's a Bond movie and it's
and it's
lengthy.
3 hours long.
Yes.
Like
Thanks.
I feel still this cashier. He was a scammer.
Yeah.
That's what he is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was a
This
scam.
cashier was like, yeah, naturally it's so
Bro,
expensive because it's a
I'm
Bond
turning
movie.
this. While I'm talking about this movie, I want to give it like a 1.5.
Oh my god.
1.5
Yeah, I was wondering.
I'm sorry,
Like,
that's
2.5 is not even that.
yeah. I'm usually I was like,
low.
it was fine, but no, it wasted 3 hours of my life.
Yes, yes. Okay. And with that, we arrive
At December.
December. Okay.
Yes.
Um.
Okay.
So you watched Isle of Dogs. Maybe we can talk about the films a little, like a little bit more briefer,
Okay.
because
So
I
first,
might have to eat. And yeah, yeah. Just let's
we
go.
planned this out very
We
nicely.
planned this out so nicely. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. First thing I actually watched is on Letterboxd because it's an anime. It's called Yu Yu Hakusho. It's like a 90s shonen anime, which kind of lay ground to a lot of shonen animes. So it is kind of there's a lot of stereotypical stuff, but overall I would say it's still really enjoyable. The tournament arc in the third tournament arc is great, like with the the dark tournament arc, namely, is great with Toguro as villain. I think the characters are fun. I like Kurama especially because I don't know. I like smart, cruel dudes, or smart dudes that are kind but can act cruel when it is necessary to their goal. And I really liked him for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the score was. I mean, the score is pretty. It's fine. I don't know. It's just it doesn't have that much of music, and the action scenes sometimes were a bit lame. But overall, I would still say it's a lot of fun. 7 out of 10. Yeah. Then I watched Isle of Dogs. I guess that's what you wanted me to talk about. That's another Wes Anderson film. I would
Okay.
say I enjoyed it
Um.
more than The French Dispatch because I think the setting is more unique
Mm-hmm.
because it basically deals with like it's another quirky idea by Wes Anderson, where we basically have Japan, but in Japan, kind of dogs are demonized. So because they have a certain illness to them, they are villainized and sent to a remote island, which is the Isle of Dogs. And on there, we kind of follow these, like this clique of dogs, and basically there's then a human who basically a boy who searches for his dog, and they try to help him, and it's just fun, innovative. It feels respectful to the culture. It is Wes Anderson, so the aesthetic elements are great. What I would say about it, however, is though that I didn't enjoy the story beat with the exchange student that's from America, because she then plays kind of the role of the freedom fighter, and like in
Oh my
this,
god.
in
Okay.
this Japanese, I guess, more authoritarian society.
Oh god, this is
So
shit. This is shit.
yeah, that's kind of the element I don't like. I
Yeah,
don't like
I
that it
mean,
has to be her.
why is he doing like a film set in a different culture where he basically just like points out the quote unquote bad things in this culture? Like, why can't he just embrace the culture as it is? Why
It's
does he
far removed enough that
like?
I
Why
don't
does he even
blame
have
it.
to always
Blame it that.
introduce some Western philosophy into this? Like, it's so goddamn okay. I don't
Yeah.
like this. I think I'm not gonna watch it.
Watch it, please. It's great. Otherwise, I mean, the soundtrack is great. I like the percussive elements to it, like with the taiko drums and everything. It just,
Okay. I mean,
it's like, it's kind of the same with Lost in Translation, where it feels like the interesting elements to a Westerner who looks at Japan. Like that
okay,
extracted is like this movie is depiction of Japan,
okay,
and I'm fine with that. All dogs talk like they're American because they're played by people like Bill Murray,
yeah.
and
People like
all
Bill
of the
Murray.
Japanese, yeah, and all of the Japanese people don't have subtitles, so that all basically everyone except for sometimes they have subtitles. I'm correcting myself, but uh, it does feel a bit removed. I'm fine with that because I guess Wes Anderson just knows he can't try to make an authentic Japanese film. So I'm fine with like it being just a romanticization of it. I
Okay.
would say,
Hmm.
yeah, it has its heart more at its place than French Dispatch. It feels more focused,
And it's stop motion.
and it's stop motion, which
Yes.
is really cool.
Yeah.
And the dogs look ugly because of like ugly in a good way because they have this illness,
Okay.
and that
Yeah.
transformation too is also very
Okay.
nice.
Yeah. Then I mean, I have it on DVD, so it
Watch
and I can
it. What the
yeah yeah
heck?
yeah
Do
yeah,
it.
dude.
Do it already.
Dude, you know my laptop doesn't have a DVD player.
Right. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
ironic.
That's so ironic.
You in recent years you have grown to collect more DVDs than I am, but you don't have a DVD player.
Well, a lot of
Not to
things
like
don't make sense.
not
But I haven't like it was only a phase where I really bought many DVDs. Nowadays, I just really don't buy anymore. But you have to like you did buy some recently,
yes.
right? But
Should I talk about it?
yeah, we can talk about it later when we talk about
Okay. Good.
planets. Okay, I watched Edge of Tomorrow. It's a time loop
With your
film
mentee?
with my mentee. And so Edge of Tomorrow is quite yeah. People say that it's a different take on your typical action film, sci-fi action film, but no,
Yeah.
it's not.
So
It's not. It's so conventional. It's so boring.
but it does have that
It's
Groundhog
really
Day element.
boring.
It does have that Groundhog
Yes,
Day
but
Day element, but
it
is it still
does. It
boring?
does, and there are some
Oh.
scenes which this element comes into play, which are really rather surprising. They surprised me. One thing I have to say. So one thing I have to explicitly mention. So Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt try to basically exploit this time loop to
Win a war against these aliens, right?
win a war against these
Basically.
aliens, right? So this time loop thing is really just there to give the humans a way to win this war.
Yeah, live die
Otherwise,
repeat.
it doesn't live, die, and repeat. Yeah, and what's interesting is that Tom Cruise really finds interest in Emily Blunt's character,
Romantic?
romantic interest indeed, and
Oh god. What is the
yes,
age gap between them?
not the age gap is not that big, but the thing is, what's really
It's probably
well,
20 years.
No, don't exaggerate. It's like 10.
No.
But so what's interesting is that because Emily Blunt Yeah, because Emily Blunt's character doesn't have the ability to be in this time loop, and Tom Cruise does for a certain amount of time. Emily Blunt forgets everything, but Tom Cruise remembers
Mm.
every instance of
Yeah, that
Emily
sounds
Blunt.
interesting. That's
This
why I
this sounds
actually
interesting,
found. That's why I actually wanted to see that movie. I heard that
and
people.
also the
Also,
notion,
also
also
Tom
the
Cruise is actually more than 20 years older than Emily Blunt.
oh my god. Okay, wait.
Told
Never
you.
mind. Okay, and then Tom Cruise. Um, So yeah, in the end, no, wait, what was it? Um, Tom Cruise thinks about not, yeah, because Tom Cruise has this affection for Emily Blunt. He thinks about going on his own, um, without telling her, because it's better. So it's better, to love and lose it. No, it's better to love uh, a stranger that doesn't know you than
Mm-hmm.
to love a person that knows you, but you lose in the end. So it's better
Mm.
to maybe sacrifice your own feelings for, I mean, like, for the greater good, which is in this case like Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise's feel
Okay.
affection toward each other. And but besides this the ending is predictable. Um, this film
Is
is
it at least good in action?
it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Even though what they fight again is like so um
Yeah, it's an alien.
unpersonal.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's an aliens unpersonal. It's like a bunch of really weird looking aliens that can kill people. Wow. Yeah, that's Edge of Tomorrow. I mean, it's fine, but I just think it's boring. And after this film, I really realized that I just can't watch these typical action movies anymore. It's just it's really just the same. And if you don't get the thrill from the action and from the predictable elements, from the tropes, you just really think you're wasting your time, and you do waste your time somehow watching these movies, in my opinion. But maybe
Hmm.
that's a rant for another time. So then we watched Her together.
I also watched
Oh
If
yeah, yeah,
Anything
yeah,
Happens,
yeah.
I Love You. Uh,
A short film, right?
that's a short film.
On movie.
It's fine. No, it's not on movie. It's on Netflix.
Okay, okay,
That's why it's only a 3.5. Just kidding.
okay.
Uh, it's fine. I knew exactly where it was going. It
Mhm.
basically deals with a like you know a husband and his wife grieving over their lost child due to a school shooting,
Yes.
and them kind of giving each other blame and growing distant because of that, but then kind of reuniting. And it is simple. It is the same thing as always. That's why I think short films are not as powerful, because while it did its message perfectly as it could, that's only that's basically the only thing it did.
Mhm.
Like, it wasn't that remarkable. I mean, it was cute enough, wholesomely drawn up until the end where it wasn't. It was tastefully done with how the daughter would ultimately die, with the, you know, I guess a last text that she loves her parents.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good intentioned movie. It's well made, but it doesn't but it isn't much else than there isn't much else to it other than its message.
Okay.
There's much to chew on, so to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also, how dare you forget that I watched a
Yeah.
Bean
You
film.
Bean film, which you gave the
Yeah.
same rating as Her.
Yeah, I think
It.
no, it is okay. That's a short film I watched on movie, so I bumped it by 1 star, JK. But it's just a really it's just a fun, delightful movie where I don't know. It just gives me this. It's really charming. It's as charming as like watching Wallace and Gromit, or watching like old Lego and stop motion movies on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just that it has been made in 1976 by a Hungarian guy who actually knows what he's doing. Just the ways how they kind of depict human life using beans as humans and different kinds of household items to replace things like grass, buildings, and everything. It's, I don't know, it's just really charming and cool.
You know
Like,
what
I
I
like
think?
the creative aspect
Yeah.
of it.
I think I'm gonna watch it, honestly. It's only
It's
12
fun, yeah.
minutes. It's only 12
It's only
minutes.
12 minutes. It's
Yeah,
good.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we watch
Now we
her,
can talk about her. But we talked about that.
You can listen to
Watch
us.
our review.
Yeah. No, you can
Yeah.
listen to us talk about her in the last episode,
Yeah.
which we go in depth into her and Lost in Translation, which we both watched in December.
Yes.
We can only recommend them. Like, I don't know how many times we've said it already.
Both are great films.
Both are
Watch
like
them.
really great films. I think they mean a lot to us.
Yes.
They kind of, I wouldn't go as far to say shape us, but I don't know. It's
Her
yeah.
shaped my somewhat my music enjoyment.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
how
they
I
shaped us. They shaped us.
and Lost in Translation too.
Yeah, they shaped us. They're like really integral to our lives. So I'm like talking about like this. I'm really happy that we did this podcast. Really,
Yeah.
it was important. I think it was important to both of us that we
Oh.
had this podcast about her and Lost in Translation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although it was kind of embarrassing when we couldn't agree on the plot point.
yeah, but I mean that just shows how passionate we are about the films, right?
True. And that none of this is scripted, I
And
guess.
that none of this is scripted, even though it might sound like it.
Yeah.
And okay, you watched Midnight Mass on the
And
same
you watched
day,
like Someone
like
in
Someone
Love.
in Love. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Please watch Midnight Mass. It's a great horror series on Netflix by Mike Flanagan. This is actually the first thing I've watched by Mike Flanagan, who is, famous for his Stephen King-esque horror films that have a more psychological twist to it. And I really, really loved Midnight Mass. I would say it's near perfect.
Oh my god,
Because
that's a statement. But okay.
it's just really the horror doesn't stem necessarily from typical horror elements like monsters and whatnot, but more of like the implication of how people can turn fanatic, or like in general it deals like with how religion can be misused in things, and how I guess like it depicts various people of faith. We have a Muslim, and we have someone who has grown to be an atheist. It's like it shows all of these different perspectives, but and also how they deal with like this growing cult in this community. So basically, they live on like this Cricket Island, as they call it, or Crockett Island, and there they have like this new pastor basically who is replacing the old one, and he's so. He's a charming pastor, and there are then suddenly miracles happening during his during the masses, like the morning masses of Sundays, and basic, but people associated with like there being some godly divine thing that must be working here, and then basically then thinking, oh, okay, so that must mean we are on the good side, and then them doing evil fucking shit, or growing more and more fanatic and doing more questionable things in the name of God.
Oh god, okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no pun intended.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough also how like well thought out the whole thing is. Like
Mm-hmm.
it being placed on Crockett Island, like that's pragmatically also really well thought out.
Yeah.
Like also the characters that get introduced, like the one that loses his faith and has to struggle with a burden that I won't mention here. The other one that finds hope and has found hope in faith.
Mm-hmm.
Then a new pastor, and it's like a very very it's it's a whole bunch of interesting characters, really,
Okay. Okay. Damn. I mean,
and
how
it's
many episodes does this series have?
7.
Seven.
But like with the last one being Revelation, so biblically speaking, in that order.
Oh, damn. Okay. I
So
mean,
it's
you're
it's really
hyping
like
this series.
poetry.
Yeah, you're hyping this up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really curious. But is it like? Would you say that it's? Would you say that it's that the horror elements are prominent, or are there like more horror
No
undertones?
horror undertones.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay,
Yeah,
is it surreal, or is it more grounded?
no, more grounded.
More grounded.
Although
Okay.
it feels a little. So the main criticism a lot the show gets is for its monologues. So this show has a lot of monologues, but for me, honestly, most of them really worked. So where like the character would just talk about their lives and everything and just emote,
Okay.
like
Mm-hmm.
just let the actor shine,
Oh yeah.
delivering that monologue, and most of it really worked for me. Like some of it was really powerful. Also made me think about my own relation to faith. Um, in that aspect, I don't know. It just really resonated with me, even though I'm not religious.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's probably the best show to show what faith is and isn't.
Okay. Because like um shows or films that deal with religion are like for
Yeah,
many
I'm
people
not.
already a red flag just because they're dealing with religion. But also, Silence by Martin Scorsese.
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
deals with
yeah. I know
faith.
it. I know
Yeah,
it.
it deals with faith as well, but it's like much more
Yeah,
than that.
isn't it Liam Neeson playing
Yeah,
in that?
Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield and
Uh.
not Adam Sandler, Adam Driver, Adam Sandler. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay. So you could. Uh. Okay. Yeah. You got into it despite of you not being religious. That's good. That's man.
Yeah, I,
Okay. I
I
think.
like it.
Yeah. I
I mean,
think I'm gonna.
I grew up. I grew up half evangelic. I wasn't. I mean, not officially, but I went to you know evangelic religious teachings.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So yeah.
while the series is Catholic, I do resonate with it somewhat.
Okay.
But I think someone who maybe is of Catholic faith or has fallen out of Catholic faith will really also like pick up a lot of things, probably.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Okay. I might watch it so then we can talk about it a little
yeah,
more in detail.
yeah.
Like Someone in
Please.
Love is on Mubi, and it's
First thing to mention,
it's it's a movie.
it's
Yeah,
on movie. It
it's a
must be
movie. It
good.
must be good. No, it's actually so. This film is really cryptic. It's enigmatic. Um, it's on the surface. If you just look at the plot, it's really nothing special. The
Yeah, isn't this
protagonist,
just some encounter of a woman with a man?
yes. So this woman, she is a fiance. She is I
Don't
don't
you
know.
say fiance to like the man?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever, whatever,
Whatever.
whatever.
Whatever. You guys know what I mean. Um. Uh. She might be like a prostitute, but we don't know. We don't know. But she's serving like other people. But this is like not the point. The point is that she meets a older man on one of her, you could say, business trips, and this older man takes on the role of grandfather for her, so he cares for her somehow. And even though they don't know each other, they seem not to know each other, but somehow they share a connection. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's just um, about this, I guess, about this woman. Oh God, the plot is like really straightforward. It's like so, it's like so uneventful. So what then
Whatever.
happens is
That's not the point, right? So why did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it because um, I really like okay, for one, the technical aspects. There are like really nice scenes in this film, like reflection scenes. There's one scene that's really reminiscent of a scene from Lost in Translation where Bob is arriving at Tokyo, where he sits in the taxi and you see like the neon signs and and the lights reflecting
Mm.
on the side window. And there's a like similar scene in this film, and um, the camera is really controlled. It's the camera is like so subjective. It's so there's one scene in the end where the old man looks out of the window and someone is yelling downstairs, and you just wonder what the
Okay.
heck is this guy doing downstairs? What the fuck is he crying? And then there are other people coming. Um, you hear their reactions, but the camera just stays the entire time focusing on the old man, and you're like I was like so infuriated. I was like, show me what's going on downstairs, and the camera does this a lot of times. Um,
Okay.
and it's and something that really struck me and I found it really interesting. Other than that, the movie is like due to its, you could say, mundaneness, really captivating and immersive because people talk about love, people talk about relationships and their family, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
mundane that it's at the same time so extraordinary because
Okay.
you get you some things you wouldn't normally appreciate that much, you kind of appreciate through this depiction, through this really true depiction of this slice of life. And I just really like that. And of course
Mm.
the enigmatic nature of this film, because like the title suggests, like someone in love, it's like you either pretend to be someone that is in love um down deep down, or you do it like on the surface, like someone in love.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I haven't really figured out what the message, quote unquote, is of this film, but it just really kind of, I got immersed in the film and it's really great. But it's not for everyone, so I found myself really struggling to keep up my attention. But
Oof.
yeah, in the end, it was worth it. It's really good. It's kind of um, sticks with you. Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 days later, House of Gucci
You watched actually the new film with Adam Driver and
with Adam
Lady
Driver,
Gaga,
Lady Gaga, then Al
who is also to
Pacino,
name Al Pacino, right?
Jared Leto,
Famously, of course, by made by Ridley
Ridley
Scott.
Scott. Yes. Um, to keep it short, I enjoyed House of Gucci. I have to say the performances are really outlandish. They're like so weird, and you you, you just realize how much fun the actors and the actresses have in portraying their respective character, and this
Mm.
is kind of infectious because um, House of Gucci is not this serious biopic or retelling of how Gucci in the end falls, etc. The murder of um, what's his name again, of Maurizio Gucci. The it's
Gucci.
Gucci. It's humorous. It's playful, even though the narrative is like really unoriginal. It's like, yeah, you see that coming and stuff. But I just really like the playful nature of it, like that everyone seems to have lots of fun playing, and the
Mm-hmm.
characters, even though not all of them evince the depth you would expect from a film about essentially their bloodline. They're like a little bit like similar to Wes Anderson's character. They have like strong characteristics, you could say.
Mm.
And we forgot to mention Jeremy Irons in the
All
when
right.
we listed the cast. So Jeremy Irons plays Rodolfo Gucci, the son of Maurizio Gucci, and I mean, I get why people don't like this film because it's really long. It's 2.5 hours long, and at times it can be really um like chewy and just
Chewbacca?
unnecessarily 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 lengthy. But in the end, I think if it went for the performances, I would have given it either 2 or 3 stars, but probably three. And also the I mean, obviously the costumes are just miraculous. So yeah, so like visually the film is charming. Even though one must notice that one must note that the colors in House of Gucci are surprisingly desaturated, because when you think of Gucci, you think of this bright saturated green and the bright saturated red, right? But like
Mm.
the look of House of Gucci is almost gray. It has almost no color in it. And
Sounds cool.
this was like a really clever decision to first of all foreshadow uh, tragic um, the tragic path of this bloodline of this business essentially, and to maybe subvert the perception of Gucci being this bright label. Yeah, so I would recommend it. I don't know if you
I'm
plan
not
to watch it.
convinced.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, yeah, you're missing out on something. Like the performances are entertaining as hell. But never mind. Then I watched Spider-Man: No Way
I what?
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. I really
It was signed 4 out of 5.
it was good. Like I did really
This is
enjoy
your
it.
highest
Okay,
rated Marvel movie
okay.
yet, probably.
I'm yes. I'm being honest. I really like this. I really like this film. I really like
Okay.
the ending. I really like the ending, and and the score is reasoned by the very nature of this film. In that it's just fan servicing. It's just fan servicing, and I'm a sucker for that. You would be too. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that would
know
be too much. Yeah.
the old dog Ock is back, right?
Yes, yes, you can see it in the trailer. Green Goblin's back as well. What I don't really
Okay.
understand is this film on Letterboxd has a 4.3 rating, and it's
That's
really,
hot.
really
That's a
high.
lot.
That's really high.
Yeah.
It's really high, and I think it's just one of the films you can really wrap your head around from the first viewing, because it just grabs so many emotions that you had for certain other films, and really plays with your nostalgia. That's why it's so many people leave the theater with a big smile, um, because this film actually builds on top of so many other films that were part
Okay.
of your childhood. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
say more, but yeah,
Okay.
that's basically Spider-Man: No Way Home. Then we together watched Lost in Translation, of course, which we mentioned already.
Yes.
You watched Face Off and Eyes in Outer Space.
Yeah. Uh. True. Okay. Ice and Outer Space. Nothing spectacular. I was just starting a show, which I will mention later, and googling around. So this is just basically I guess you could say a propaganda piece by Disney, Walt Disney in the 60s and 50s to like talk about how great space is and everything, and kind of at first talks about weather, but then with ice in outer space it deals more with satellites, and it talked about what positive effects satellites could have. Nothing interesting in particular. The animation is fine. It's just fun if you want to look into a time capsule of
Okay. Yeah.
like the 60s. Anyway, Face Off. Face Off is awesome. I wanted to watch this movie. I can't emphasize this enough. I was probably like 17, 16, like at one of my friends, probably drunk a bit. And we were just starting this movie. But it looked so hilarious. Like I won't spoil the fun for you, seriously.
Okay.
But John, like how the movie already starts is so hilarious.
Oh, it's from John
like-
Woo.
It's from John Woo. Yes,
Wait.
it is.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes,
Okay,
I don't.
Okay, nice.
I would have never. I don't know how they pitched him to make this movie, because the basic plot line is that John Travolta is an agent that has bad blood with one terrorist played by Nicolas Cage, and they have this cat and mouse game, and where in a basically because of a bomb threat, John Travolta has to convince Nicolas Cage's brother by to give him basically the location of the bomb, and their idea of how to get that is by taking off John Travolta's face onto Nicolas and put Nicolas Cage's face onto him, such that he looks like his brother. Because
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
yeah, so basically he is pretending to then be his Nicolas Cage, so that they can convince Nicolas Cage's brother to give them the location of the bomb. But then of course it doesn't work all that way out, and Nicolas Cage's character, now with John Travolta's face, fights back and gets in his role as the FBI agent, making his life to hell, and then it becomes a cat and mouse game and revenge game, because again, there's some bad history between them, and it's so fucking hilarious. I was so saddened years ago when we didn't watch the movie because one of our friends didn't want to watch a movie in English.
Okay. But now you have to
now I finally did with
Okay.
actually one of the friends that I was with back then, and it was just a treat. The dialogue is so cheesy, but at the same time you have to give Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, they make so many funny faces in this movie. So outrageous faces. Like, I don't know, you probably know the scene where Nicolas Cage is like in a pastor outfit,
yeah, I know
and
that.
then
I know
then
that face,
headbanging to
Yes.
Hallelujah, and
I
then
know
grabbing
that, yes.
grabbing that peach butt from behind, and then
Yeah,
with
and
his eyes wide open.
Yes.
And this
Oh
movie
my
is
God.
just that.
Okay.
For like,
Yes.
yeah, it's great. It also, it's like such a stupid and tragic plot. It's hilarious how they then act through this, like with full commitment. Like when John Travolta basically his character has to, as his FBI agent, has to pretend to be him, act like this terrorist, and then descend into madness, and then laughing while also crying. It's so hilarious how
Okay, yeah.
like he's now in he now has Nicolas Cage's face, and Nicolas Cage then kind of acting this out. It's so hilarious. And it's just really, the action scenes aren't that particularly great, but how often they are employed with how many explosions there are. It's hilarious. Like a boat would just ramp up in the air and
Okay.
someone would shoot it and it would explode. Things like that. Constant. It's like at the end, like the fight at the end, it's so long.
Oh my
And you're thinking to yourself, how is this still going on? It's so
Okay.
hilarious. I loved it.
Damn.
Like, okay, my genuine score, honestly, would probably be like a 40 out of 100. But it's so fun. I had to give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please watch Face Off.
Yeah.
It's on
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay.
It was
Ah,
on
it's-
Netflix.
Okay. Okay. Um.
You
Yeah.
watched Don't Look Up.
Yeah. On Net. Before that, Call Me by Your Name, Perfection. I just wonder when you are going to watch Call Me by Your Name. I'm just really waiting on on that day when you watch Call Me by Your Name. And I
You will
really
probably
want.
have to strap me up like in Clockwork Orange.
Oh my god! Really? Are you so?
No, I'm not, but I'm joking.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Okay. Don't look. Yeah.
I just don't have any drive to right now watch it.
Yeah. I mean, you have
At
to
the
be in the
moment.
right headspace. I get it.
Okay. So Don't Look Up.
And so yeah, Don't Look Up is like this. It's just a satire. It's just making fun of us. Um, so the premise is a comet is flying, heading directly towards Earth. Scientists who know the seriousness of the situation try to warn us, basically, people who are not scientists, and the scientists are played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, and they're like these really stereotypical scientists who can't express themselves, are nerdy. At least Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence like more normal, but she gets victimized a lot because by the media and
She's a
stuff.
woman.
I don't know if that's the reason. I haven't think.
I don't know. I just
Yeah, I
joking.
haven't thought about it. But yeah, she gets victimized while Leonardo DiCaprio is like this um is mentioned as this as America's best looking scientists, and he gets media training and is actually this prominent figure. Like you have all these scientists who are like part-time influencers already. Like
Uh-huh.
you have like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's like good-looking Neil deGrasse Tyson. Not that Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't look good, but just to just to have a parallel.
Okay.
And then you really realize how fucked up this whole situation is, because Meryl Streep, who plays this really extravagant, incredulous, bitchy president of the United States, with her son played by Jonah Hill, which is like the most like these characters are like caricatures, like so exaggerated caricatures where you can't really
Yeah.
take this movie seriously. And I get that people get angry by this depiction, but I found it really hilarious how
But
exaggerated.
was it intentional?
It was definitely intentional. Everything is intentional. Everything is exaggerated, intentional, and satirical. And this entire movie just makes fun of how consumerism works, because in the middle, because I'm just gonna spoil it.
I don't care.
They want to have this mission where they basically change the trajectory of the comet
Yes.
by having multiple rockets fly up, but in the last second, the rockets change their path and explode in the air, and it's reasoned because the comet has vital minerals which can end world hunger, which can make life prosper, and that's
It
why
feels a bit on the nose.
it's so on the nose. It's so on the nose, but it's so funny. It's so funny, and the film never gets preachy or anything. It stays satirical throughout its runtime, and each time it has the chance, makes fun of us, makes fun how we handle those situations. Because then there is this slogan of don't look up, or look up, look at the comet, comet, and then when Meryl Streep has this um, voting, how do you call that? Um,
Veto?
not veto, but if you like have speeches before the votes to win votes, like this
You mean the
program.
presidential debate?
No, like this voting program where the president gets to speak to the folk and stuff, to the people. She introduces the slogan "Don't look up, don't look up." And then the internet is incorporated so humorously. It's just, I don't know. Social media is like depicted as this. It's just all everything is just so dumb. Everything is so dumb, but the sad thing is, it speaks kind of truth. It does speak truth
Mm.
because we see it in our own life. Not that exaggerated, of course, but this might be the worst case scenario if we maybe keep doing stuff that we yeah that we are right now doing. I don't want to name concrete things, but or maybe I can name some. It's like uh, that celebrity news are more
Mhm.
important than maybe other things that are more existential to the
Okay.
human race, and
So
that,
sensational news
yeah,
gets
sensation.
more traction.
Right, right,
Okay.
right. And the and okay,
Mm.
then moving on. A silent voice. We should definitely make a separate episode. I think we're
Okay.
not doing the film justice if we just briefly glance over it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
you
Yeah.
can await um, you can anticipate a podcast episode dedicated to a silent voice,
Mm-hmm.
and like your last film slash show that you watched in December was Planets, and my
Yeah.
last film was Little Women. Okay, to make it brief, Little Women made me cry. I watched the first. I watched the first book. No, I read the first book. The second book I didn't want to read actually because I thought the first book was kind of um exhausting to read through. Even though
Oof.
it's
By whom was it?
Louis Alma
Oh,
oh god, Louisa Alma um Ascot. Yeah. God damn it.
okay.
I feel really unsure. Um, yeah. Wait. Yeah, Louisa May. Wait, what? Yeah, Alcott. Louisa May Alcott. Um,
Okay.
um, and so Little Woman is like, um, it's definitely, so the structure is not conventional at all. It plays with time jumps, and in the end there's like what is real, what is fiction, like these questions arise in the end, which is cool. And just all characters, like the four main characters, Joe, Meg, Beth, and Amy, played by Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, Emma Watson, and Eliza Scanlon, not in a particular order, are really, I like really the standouts. Timothy Chalamet is really good as well,
Mm.
and that chemistry is like really striking, um, because there are four
So,
sisters,
as
and
someone who didn't read the book, what is
yeah,
basically the storyline? I
the
know that,
story,
I guess
there's no definite storyline. It's like
yeah, it's just like these
really
four sisters.
the life of
Yeah,
these four
okay.
sisters struggling to survive in America after the Civil War.
America.
America after the Civil War, the struggles of being women in this time, the struggles of fulfilling your dreams, working on your um, yeah, working toward your dreams, the
Mm.
restrictions that come with being a woman, then the themes of love, marriage, grief, loss, pain, family. I mean, you have everything in that film.
Okay.
It's really just a it's really a time capsule, um, that shows
Okay.
you how life is for women,
Mm.
for a woman, for a sister, for a wife in the late 19th century. Yeah, mid
Okay,
to
cool.
late 19th century. Yeah.
Mm.
So I thought about giving it five actually, but I think I might give it five on second rewatch. But as of now, I'm settling on four. But I'm
Okay.
sure I'll bump it up to five because it's just one of those movies just to speak to me. And
As a
yeah,
woman
yes, as a woman,
with
yeah,
four sisters, with three
and
sisters.
yes, and yeah. So just watch
Yeah.
Little Woman. It's was released on Netflix actually 2 days ago. So yeah.
It's funny how we
Planets.
say just watch Little Woman, just watch something something,
Just
and the
watch
other
it.
hasn't
I
seen
mean,
it.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, Planets. Planets is a 2003 anime made by Sunrise, so very famous anime studio. It is an adaptation of a manga by a manga author whose name I will not butcher, but who is very famous for writing the manga Vinland Saga, which is very infamous among the anime world because it's kind of this epic similar to Berserk, where it deals with like revenge and everything. And that was kind of his previous story. So Planets was his previous manga, and I've basically watched the anime adaptation of it, and I thought it was really great, near perfect, and kind of, but not the thing I actually expected. So Planets deals with a future of 2075. We are kind of at the point where space travel is more advanced than now. Oh, we can actually live on the moon, and there are lunar cities there. And but to like ensure space travel, we need to you know, kind of keep the orbit of Earth safe by like removing the debris there. And so we are kind of following like people that are kind of having that job of being in that debris section. And it's an interesting story because it's kind of told like the debris hauler section is not a very glamorous thing to do, and people that usually work there usually have certain motivations because it's not well paid, it's not, isn't very ambitious,
It's
not very ambitious,
dangerous.
it's dangerous. Yeah, that's also true. And you know you're it's like the lowest of the low in terms of like the big space companies.
Mm-hmm.
And basically we then follow their stories as they kind of in their daily lives. First with more like this show is it's really hard to say. It's both had sitcom elements and romance with our two protagonists, Aitanabe and Hashimaki, which is great. I love them both. Tanabe is like this bright-eyed new rookie that is new to like the debris section, and Hashimaki has 3 years under his belt and is kind of not satisfied with his life and also a bit of a blunt person, so not the most nice person to have as a senior to guide you, but they still kind of get along due to them being
Okay.
similar moral grounds, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so there are these elements, but there's also a lot of like this show is really dystopian. Like it depicts the ugly aspects of space. I mean, there's a lot of existentialism also going on there because you can always die there alone, which is also kind of mentioned. um, how even how space traveling and space development, like the politics behind it, the corruption that goes behind that. Like basically, there's this one military faction that is called Into that basically has all the power, and they are, and the first world and basically because of them, the first world countries have the upper hand, while second and third world countries see no benefits of like the space development, and like also how people have to abandon their humanity to really like reach greatness in the progress and development in space. And I just think it's a very well-rounded, great depiction of that. Like I haven't felt that critical about all of these things like progress, or I guess also my privilege as someone who lives in a first world country.
It sounds super profound and kind of intricate when they have this entire system going on.
Yeah,
That like the politics.
yeah, it's
Because I feel
I
like
mean,
many space movies neglect politics, to be honest.
yeah, it's always it's
Or not space movies, but like shows or films that deal with space travel.
yeah, like even the more grounded ones are usually, like The Martian also doesn't really talk about it. It's more
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, hell yeah, NASA's great. More of that note. But here it's
Yeah.
more like, there was Werner von Braun, and he was working for NASA, and he was before that a Nazi, and things like that. Basically in that tone.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And it's really heartbreaking. It's a very, I mean, I mention all of these things, but what it really boils down is to like the human condition in like that kind of environment. Like people that don't have it lucky, not being able to like move up because they don't have the same upbringing. People like us that are in a better upbringing, wanting to strive for greatness and success because they've been so blinded that actual success is kind of being good in space development or something like that, something more grand, even though that's really ultimately just a dream of some person, or more or less like probably just as something beneficial for the first world country. And like, why does it have to be the case that settling down with a normal family feels like a failure for a lot of us?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like we always want to achieve something greater, and this the show also deals with that.
Damn.
The score is also really beautiful. Like there's some really grand orchestral pieces when you see like in awe like these how technology has advanced. Like one prominent thing is throughout the show that there's a Jupiter mission plant with like this big spaceship that looks great, but like behind that a lot of death went into that. And also some more intimate pieces, some more farcical for humorous elements. Yeah, so characters are great. It looks great because it's made by Sunrise. It sounds great. It has very deep themes and is a very still human story, while also like talking about the overall global things and global aspects. Like how can people like us even do any change? Things like that. And I guess when it comes to gripes, the ending, okay, some episodes were more weak because like relying on those more sitcom-y elements does make the show feel like the show could go for more sometimes, and sometimes it really feels more like a basic romance.
Okay.
And another thing is that while I love the episodes up to the ending is to me too happy. Like it feels like some things were unresolved, but maybe that's life. Life is unfair. Some people get the resolution and the happy ending they wanted, while others just kind of, are still drifting in space.
No.
And that's how that's how I still feel after watching the show.
Like, and
Yeah.
we're lucky that we could have that we finished both of our years with movies that we actually liked.
That was actually an anime, like an anime
Yeah,
show
an
that
anime. Or
it's 26
I'm just-
episodes. Yeah,
Oh God, I hate to say film/shows,
media.
media, but media just sounds wrong. But I
Okay,
don't know.
whatever.
Yeah, with media that we both liked.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and thanks to you, audience, for the
For
people
watching
who
this
make
3 hour,
who-
3 hour freaking
yeah.
mess.
for people
of-
who make it here,
Yeah.
made it here. Thank you. You're like,
Yeah,
we love you.
you're our T3 subs,
Yes.
our unofficial Tier 3 subs.
And with that, I mean, podcast will still appear, I guess, in the
Are
upcoming
you
year.
still? Yeah.
Will still appear on the channel.
Are you struggling with your English?
No, I'm just really tired, man.
Yeah, I mean, man, I want to pee.
Yeah. And I mean, what you can expect from us is definitely a podcast about a silent voice, about a podcast. Actually, like we plan to do this podcast for months now, where we roast our letterbox ratings
Mm-hmm.
because they're quite inconsistent, I would say.
Yes,
And-
especially if you choose to have a whole number system.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. And what else? We haven't planned anything else yet, so just be surprised.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yeah. We'll be surprised as well what comes up, what comes
Yeah.
comes up in our diary.
Yeah, and Happy New Year, of
And
course.
Happy New Year, of course, yeah. And thanks for
Let's-
sticking. I'm like really happy, man. We're doing this podcast for like 1.5 years.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Dang.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that,
I hope you
Yes.
will tune to us even also this year.
yes. And see ya.
See ya.